All right, guys. Hello. You should be able to hear me. Uh, yes. Welcome to another stream of American Truck Simulator. This is actually take two because in take one I was live for 47 minutes just talking to you guys and stuff. And then when it was time for me to start playing the game for real, the game crashed. Not only that, OBS also crashed. So when OBS crashes, that means it's not necessarily the game's fault. Because this has happened before, where American Truck Simulator and OBS cannot get along for whatever reason. So, I switched to Streamlabs, and I did some test streams to see if the game and the stream would work, and they both work. So that's good. So, I guess Streamlabs can be like a backup software to use for live streaming. It's not bad. I kind of like it. I'm just so used to using OBS. But anyways, I guess I'll keep that stream as like a failed stream or whatever you call it. But now I'm ready to play the game. It's 11:13 p.m. I know that's ridiculous. It's that late starting the stream, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go straight into the game. I'm going to play the radio, so I'm ready to resume both events. So I'm going to play Road Dog Truck and Radio. I'm going to play the show called The Open Road with KC Phillips. All right. So, you guys know how this goes. I'm going to mute my microphone and play the audio of the radio while I resume both World of Trucks events. You forgot what OBS stands for exactly. What exactly does it stand for? It stands for Open Broadcast Software or Open Broadcasting Software. All right. Here we go. So thank you guys for understanding, and hopefully this won't happen again. Here we go. This stream won't be a very long one because I do have work tomorrow. So this might be under 3 hours, but that's okay. I'll be back. I'll unmute my mic to let you guys know when it's time for me to end the stream. All right. So until then, it's just gonna be Road Dog Truckin' Radio to hear what people have to say about the holiday season, because I did this last year. And I also did it in the last stream of this game, and I want to do it some more. All right? So here we go.
8888 Road Dog. You got the number. Now get on the show. This is The Open Road with KC Phillips.
We are back. It is hour number one of the Open Road Friday Free-for-All edition, and each week on the show, we like to try and connect with Brad Gilley of NASCAR Radio. And Brad, you are in the non-racing season of the year, and I hate to bring you in for news like this, but we had some tragic news that hit the waves yesterday, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to share some detail. How are you doing, number one?
I'm doing all right, Casey. I appreciate it. It's always great talking to you.
Yeah, my friend, it's great to have you on. And so the news hit yesterday that Greg Biffle and his family were killed in an accident involving a plane crash. And I just wanted to get some more detail on how the accident happened. What is the industry feeling these days, and get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, first I will say Greg Biffle was universally beloved by everyone in the sport and so many race fans as well. He was just simply a great person. On the track, an amazing competitor. He won championships in both the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series. Came just a few points shy, actually, of beating Tony Stewart for a championship in the Cup Series as well. And, just known always as a guy who rarely said no to doing things for the fans. And if he couldn't do something, that's about the only time he wouldn't. If he could, he'd certainly make it happen. Off the track, another amazing guy. Last year with Hurricane Helene and everything that happened in, eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, parts of Virginia, he actually led a huge relief effort. And just like a viral thing where a bunch of pilots just came in and kind of donated their services, their planes, their helicopters, and all of that to bring food and supplies to places where vehicles couldn't get. And it was a pretty amazing thing. But yesterday, he and his family, his wife, his daughter, his son, as well as a couple of pilots, a close friend who is another part of the NASCAR community, they were taking off from Statesville Airport in North Carolina, just north of Charlotte. That was sort of his home base airport. And they were flying down to Florida. They were going to visit Cletus McFarland, if people know him as a popular YouTube star and even a budding racer in NASCAR himself. And shortly after the plane took off, it had an issue. They tried to turn around and get back to the airport, and they came up just short of the runway, and unfortunately had the plane crashed, burst into flames, and we lost just 7 wonderful people.
Oh my gosh, what a tragic event. And crazy. I had a guest in studio yesterday who's a friend of mine here in Nashville, and he is a private pilot, and he was talking about how these are just old engines that are in these planes a lot of times, and it's just like a semi truck, right? You have to make sure that the maintenance is where it needs to be, and you have to be always on the lookout for making sure that something like this is not going to happen. So was Greg actually piloting the plane?
As we understand it, he was not. There were 2 of the people who were killed on the plane were pilots, and I believe it was a father-son duo. Which the tragedy goes beyond just the Biffle family for sure.
Yeah.
And while Greg himself, was a very accomplished pilot and could certainly fly himself, and going back to the Hurricane Helene stuff, used his helicopter and flew those missions and all of that to deliver supplies. It sounds like in this one there were 2 pilots on the plane, and they were just passengers. Him riding with his family and friends to go down to Florida.
Gotcha. So I know there have been high-profile passings like this and tragic accidents. How does NASCAR respond typically? And also, how could people participate if they wanted to show support?
It's as far as how the sport participates. It's look, everyone battles on the track, and you get the wins, the losses, the trash talking, the tempers, all of those things. But ultimately, it is a family, and we love like a family, we fight like a family, and we come together as a family when it comes to the sport. Aviation tragedies are not new to NASCAR, unfortunately. Hendrick Motorsports lost 10 people in a crash, what is now probably close to 20 years ago, up in Martinsville, Virginia. People like Davey Allison lost their life in aviation accidents, Alan Kowicki. So it's nothing new, but aviation is such a big part of the sport because when you're literally traveling week in, week out, year round almost, they rely on private aviation to be able to get around, and tragedies do happen. So, I can tell you this for me, and just the social media timeline it has literally been filled from everyone, whether it be media members, race fans, to fellow competitors of Greg's and all of that. Just with with their sympathies, their thoughts, their prayers, their remembrances, all of those things in the wake of this tragedy. So this is something that really brings the sport together in a big, big way.
Yeah. Will NASCAR have a memorial, any type of observance of his life and contribution to the sport?
I would imagine so. Greg Biffle was actually up for a Hall of Fame nomination this past year, and while he didn't get inducted, I'm sure that's probably the next big thing that we're doing is the Hall of Fame induction ceremony coming up next month, and I would very much bet that Greg Biffle and remembrance of him will be a big, big part of it. Haven't heard anything, and you'd ask, what can people do? I haven't heard anything about, hey, this is in lieu of flowers or whatever, please donate. I do know that obviously he was the one. He was literally the one who spearheaded all of that relief with Hurricane Helene. And, these are still parts of the country that are suffering. I'd imagine people could help with that. But, this is like not even 24 hours old,
I know.
And, I'm sure a lot of things will happen. And I know a lot of people want to help as well.
Right. Well, if you do us a favor, just keep us in touch with what we can do as a channel and what listeners can do as a family, because I know that we're all grateful for your participation with us each week on the show. And if I know there's a lot of guys out there that would love to chip in and help however they can. So would you do me that favor?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, appreciate you asking me on because, I knew Greg. I knew Greg as, work friends. It's not like, we hung out or had dinner or anything. And
sure,
for many, many years, he was just a great, great human being. And I think that's probably the one thing I remember most about him.
Amen. Well, it's tough. You lost a friend and he lost family. It's really, I think, exacerbated by it being so close to Christmas. So I know it's hard to wish somebody a Merry Christmas during this tough time, but I hope you and yours do celebrate and have happy holidays, my friend.
Yeah, you as well, Casey. Thank you very much.
All right. That is Brad Gilley. You can catch him on Channel 90. And really tough, the passing of Greg Biffle. I will say this. I'm not that plugged into NASCAR other than when I have Brad Gilley on the show with us. And so it is very tough because it's the feel of loss around the holidays. And anybody who has experienced that knows exactly how that feels. And so it does put a little bit of damper on the season, but we do need to know that God is with us and that the reason for the season is to celebrate new beginnings. And so really sad to hear for that family's loss. But we will jump out of the way for a quick timeout. When we get back, we'll jump right back into the conversation with you. It's a Friday free-for-all. I'm KC, hanging out in Nashville, Tennessee, and we will be back on the open road.
An opinion? Yeah, we all do. May as well share it at 8888 Road Dog. We can't wait. Here's Casey Phillips.
Gum Flapping Friday. Let's get into it. Hope you guys will jump in with us. 8888 Road Dog, 888-876-2336. As soon as I think I got rid of that sinus infection that I was dealing with like for 3 weeks, it seems like it's coming back. I don't know what this stuff is, man. It is brutal. Anyway, we'll try to power through. Let's get to Bandit first up. Hey, Bandit, what's going on, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just enjoying this 300-mile backwood drive.
Backwoods? What do you mean?
Yeah, to get to where I got to go pick up the load, almost the whole drive's on back roads.
Okay. I hope there's no, bridges that are almost ready to fall into the creek or low clearance overhead passes that you got to worry about, man.
Oh, it's U.S. highway, so it's
all right.
It's not that backwoods. It's a lot of rural area.
It's not like you're in Tennessee.
Actually, I am.
Oh, you are in Tennessee. All right, man. Watch out.
Yeah, I'm on US 45 West.
Okay, gotcha. I remember the first time I came down to Tennessee, and I thought, man, these roadways are really in good shape. I was impressed by the amount of 2-lane divided highways that Tennessee had. So, yeah, You do get off the beaten path, though. Are you in the hills, or are you down in the bottoms around Memphis?
Well, I just left Humboldt, Tennessee.
Okay.
So I'm headed up to the Evansville, Indiana area to go pick up a load that delivers tomorrow morning. And funnily enough, the place I was at didn't have empty trailers, so they told me to just bobtail.
Wow. Okay. Well, at least you don't have a trailer to worry about. I guess bobtailing through the back roads is a lot better than having a trailer on, as long as you're getting paid, right?
Yep. Like Jerry Maguire says, show me the money.
That's right. All right. Well, it's great to have you on, man. Hey, are you ready for the holiday?
Yeah, they're actually keeping me close to home because of how crazy this weather's been cycling, just to make sure that there's not a problem getting me home for Christmas.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. I guess that should be the question of the day. Is everybody headed towards the house? And are you going to be working next week through the holiday, or are you going to take some time off? What are your plans for Christmas?
Well, the plan is to be home the evening of the 23rd, and then I'll come back out on the 30th.
Okay. Well, shoot, that's a week, son.
Well, I've been out almost a whole month, so I've got 4 days banked, and then I've got some vacation days I'm going to use.
Gotcha. You earned it then, man, if you've been out a month. So I don't know about you, but whenever I have a couple of days strung out that are vacation, and it's really good for a couple of days, then I start twiddling my thumbs because just like you, I stay busy. And when I'm not busy, I feel like something's off. It's like I don't have time to relax, basically. So what do I need to be doing right now? I hope you can find some time to relax.
Well, I'm going to try to, but I got a feeling I'm going to end up having to do some driving lessons with Loki because he's been grounded the whole time I've been gone.
Uh-oh.
So he hasn't got to do any driving lessons yet.
Dude, grounded. I don't remember being grounded, but maybe one time. I think I remember one time being grounded. What did he do? Can you talk about why he got grounded?
Did all of his homework and then never turned any of it in, so his report card looked like a bomb.
But he did the work.
He did the homework and then shoved it in his backpack and never turned it in.
He tripped at the finish line.
Tripped? Hell, he took a swan dive off his Nakamori Tower like Hans.
Yeah. That is a swan dive, man. Why didn't he turn it in? Come on, son.
Either too much time spending making googly eyes at girls in his class or goofing off with his buddies. One of the two.
Yeah, that's common at that age, man. So, I guess you give the boy a pass. How does he do typically in testing? Because if he's doing the homework, he should perform on the test okay, shouldn't he?
Depends on the class. Some of the classes, he knows how to do the stuff, but then he rushes through the test instead of taking his time and thinking about it.
Yeah, I get you, man. Well, that's tough. He'll learn from it. Just go easy on the boy. I mean, he is a teen, and training him to drive might be exactly what he needs. Just get out with Dad and spend some time on the road.
Yep. But I'm going to wish everybody a Merry Christmas in case I don't get back in before then. And everyone stay safe with this crazy weather.
I hear you. Well, Bandit, thank you. Programming note, I'm actually not going to be here until the Monday after Christmas. So I'll be back the 29th, 30th to help celebrate the new year, but I am taking next week off. And how I'm feeling right now means it's time for me to get sick again because every time I take a vacation, I do get ill. So, Bandit, Merry Christmas to you and yours, and thanks for the call. It's coming on like super fast. I don't know what that's all about. Let's grab Crash next up. Hey, Crash, what's going on, boss?
Hey, Casey, you were able to get me one thing at the end of the show Wednesday.
Oh, I did.
You got
Okay.
me
What was it?
The Topps Alf trading cards.
Oh. I remember now. It was a case of those. I think like 48 count, wasn't it?
Yeah, 48 packs of Alf trading cards from Topps.
Now,
when you said trading cards for Topps, I'm sitting there going, "Oh, hey, that's not bad." And you said Alf, I'm like, "Oh man."
I know. I can't believe that they actually would produce things like that. I mean, what would an Alf trading card be? It's just going to be pictures of him in the in the television series, I guess.
That's all I could think of too, because I remember watching it in the '90s after it became syndicated as a kid. Because I was born in '87, so I'm still a young, able body, as most people call me. I don't feel very able some days, especially cold, windy days like today. But
right.
I'm going to need Tim to send me some of that warm weather up here to Ohio.
Yeah.
That warm
I hear
Mississippi
you,
weather he's got.
Right.
But,
so, were you a kid whenever Alf was on the television?
I don't remember if it was still like active. I don't know if they were still producing it, but I do remember watching some episodes in the '90s. But I can't remember if it was in syndication at that point or not.
Yeah. Well, Buff Enough told me that the Topps company made trading cards for a lot of different things, and I had never heard of that. I mean, I know you got sports, right? Baseball, basketball, football cards, but I didn't know there would be any interest in trading cards like 80s television sitcom cards. I mean, it seems like a stretch to me.
I mean, if you produce it, someone's gonna buy it. So I mean, but maybe they're selling them in cases because not a whole lot of people bought them. Now they're just trying to liquidate inventory. Like
David writes to me.
Let's sell them in like 48-pack cases.
Yeah, Dave, Dispatch Dave just wrote to me. Alf was an American television sitcom aired from September 1986 to March 1990. 4 years too long.
Yeah, I remember as a kid watching some episodes. I'm like, and thinking, what is this?
Yeah, it's Alf.
Yeah,
didn't he eat the cat or something like? Did he want to eat the cat?
I don't recall because like I've tried to forget that, but every time I try to forget it, something pops up like, oh my God, why am I seeing this?
Yeah, crazy. Well, Crash, I appreciate you setting the record straight because I had totally forgotten, and that did happen right at the end of the show on Wednesday. What do you have Christmas plans, my friend?
Oh, so Monday and Tuesday I'll be out. Tuesday I'll get home, maybe something local Wednesday, and then I am off till the day after Tuesday.
Hey, awesome, man. That's a lot of downtime, brother. Do you have some plans to stay busy?
Nope. It'll be a staycation, spend time with the family, and relax.
Good, yeah. I think we'll probably continue cleaning the garage. Anytime I have time off, it's project full. So clean the garage, work on the yard. Those types of things are good. Maybe it's good that I'm coming down with a little something. It will give me an excuse to sit in my chair.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get a whole lot of spare time. I think my wife's going to have a honeydew that's a mile and a half long.
Yeah, I hear you, man. All right, well, Merry Christmas to you and yours, my friend.
Yep, and one more thing before I go. With yesterday's tragedy, I really hope the Biffle family knew Jesus. I pray that they knew Jesus, and I pray for their loved ones and their friends. Because I'm an avid follower of Cletus McFarland, Garrett Mitchell. I love his shenanigans. I love the shenanigans he did with Greg. And I was a Greg Biffle fan growing up watching NASCAR. So it was devastating hearing about that news. I pray to God he knew.
Yeah, amen to that, Crash. And I think there's probably a good chance that he did. And to lose a family, I don't know, and I hate to even say it, but as loved ones being so close to a man, I don't know if it's better that they all went together so that the family didn't have to experience the grief. The immediate family didn't have to experience all that grief around the holidays. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it's a tragic loss, and hopefully they are sitting in a feast right now, celebrating with our Lord and Savior. So thank you, bud. Yep, Crash. Thank you for the call. We're going to have to take a break when we get back. Wrench, you are next. Hold on the line, my friend, and we will go from there. We're talking a little bit today about a Gum Flapping Friday free-for-all edition on the open road. We will be right back.
Now for more conversation on the open road with KC Phillips. Join in at 8888 Road Dog.
We are cruising through hour number one of the show. Thanks to Brad Gilley for coming on earlier. We talked a little bit about the Greg Biffle passing, tragic accident that went down in North Carolina yesterday. We're just going to be filling up the time chatting with you guys. I will miss y'all as I take a few days off next week, and then I will be back at the last few days of the year to help usher in the new year with you guys. So hope you guys are pointed towards the home 20 right now, and you're making your way back over the river and through the woods to get back to your house or maybe grandma's house. I don't know. Let's go ahead and bring in next call. That's going to be Wrench. Wrench, where are you today, buddy?
I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida. Dang, man. I hope that you brought your swim trunks.
72 degrees.
You dog. Why you got to rub that in, man? Come on.
Well, the bad thing is, my mother passed last night.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry. What happened?
She went to a friend's house and she wasn't home, and the coroner found her in the car.
How old is your mother, or was
71? 71.
71. So do they know what happened? I mean, are they doing an autopsy? Did she have health issues? What's the story?
We don't know anything about it, and my dad, of course, they're divorced, but that she said that she was bipolar, not called bipolar, but he said I would say she's bipolar.
So undiagnosed clinically, basically.
Correct.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry, man. Are you okay?
I'm okay. Once I go to deliver here in about 5 minutes from now, I'm going to have to call my company and say, hey, I lost my mom last night.
Yeah. Dude, you got to take care of yourself, brother. Driving a semi-truck, obviously very safety-sensitive work, and grief can have an impact on your level of awareness. I have gone through it, and so I just recommend that you make sure to take care of yourself and talk to people. Do you have any contact with, and I know it's very early in the game, but do you have any contact with a minister or a grief counselor? Has anybody reached out to you to offer support?
Well, it's rare, very rare, because it was like 10, 11 o'clock last night that I got a phone call.
Okay, so it's brand new.
Kind of like Biffle. But I know, even my sister, she's going to take over the autopsy and everything else, because I can't, because I'm in Florida right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'll be coming home pretty soon.
How many siblings do you have?
Me and my sister.
Okay. And I know that in many divorced families, there is still a level of care and concern for one another. So is your father going to be able to participate and help you guys?
Well, that I don't know, but it's the point where he's going to talk to his pastor. He was my pastor as well, but I changed churches. but there's a lot of phone calls to make this morning.
Yeah. Well, lean into that, man. I mean, that I can't tell you. When I lost my parents within 4 months of one another, and when I hear you share your story about your mom, it makes me feel like, well, you know what? It happened fast, and it's a surprise. And while now you're going to start experiencing grief, at least it wasn't like a long, drawn-out process. And I know I'm trying to just make it okay emotionally, but it's still tragic, man.
The bad thing is she's somewhat. She said at one point she might have cancer, and she changed to doctor instead of going with the same doctor. I don't know anything about that, but she won't go to the same doctor if she gets bad news.
I got you.
And she did have 2 pistols, and I don't even look at them.
Right.
But
that's tough. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
The good side is, though, to be honest, my father was more healthy than her, and she's passed. So that's at least the good side. I hope, maybe.
Yeah. No, I do understand what you're saying, and it's tough whenever you're faced with this. There is a suicide and crisis lifeline that is available to anybody. If you're feeling this way, 988 is the crisis line number. So if you're feeling this way, if you get a bad diagnosis, which, Wrench, it sounds as if, and I'm just spitballing, there was a diagnosis there, and she decided not to put anybody else through that. The grief of going through a long, drawn-out process, which, I think a lot of times, and I am guessing here, when people decide to take their own life, if that is what in fact happened here, that they are trying to spare their family. And that is almost a last act of love in their mind. It still hurts just the same, but at the same time, it may be that she was wanting to spare you and your sister from a long, drawn-out illness. So I don't know if
at one point she said that her innards hurt her all the time.
Yeah.
And she couldn't eat.
So it could have been stomach cancer?
I don't know. And then our doctor at that point, he gave a bunch of pills to her, period. And I guess it keeps refilling, but it's no longer her doctor anymore.
Gotcha. Well, obviously there's going to be an investigation into this. That there's going to be a lot to process. And how is your sister holding up?
Well, she's got to go to the sheriff to get all her stuff, her mom's stuff.
Okay.
So that's gonna hurt. But
yeah.
And she's probably gonna take my stepmom, this is my father's new wife.
New wife, right.
But and I said, you do what you want. It's I'm not even here. I'm in Florida.
Well, get home. Make sure you're there to support. And my experience, Wrench, is that I have really good times, and then there are some low times. And grief, especially in the early months, grief came in waves, and there would be something that triggered some grief, and I'd have to experience it again. So remember the good times, and I would try to. I would try to imagine that she, in a last opportunity to show you love and your sister love, did what she did. If it was a suicide, that she did it to spare you and your feelings. And it's like ripping a Band-Aid off. You know what I'm saying? Just get it taken care of, and hopefully she is at peace today.
I hope so.
Yeah. So are you heading north now, right after this load is delivered?
I've got to get. I'm about 10 minutes from, or 5 minutes from getting to the guard shack.
Okay, gotcha. We'll get that load off you and go back and just make sure you reach out anytime if you need support. And we're all thinking about you and hope that even through all of this, you can have some happy holidays, my friend.
And Merry Christmas to you guys.
Merry Christmas, buddy. So sorry to hear about your loss, bud. We're going to cut you loose, and we got to start moving out of the way for the break. Man, that's tough. That's two in about an hour that we've heard about. Wrench and his mother's untimely passing, and then also the death of Greg Biffle and his family. It's tough, especially around the holidays. And I think finding joy in a season when you are experiencing grief, you're having loss, is a very difficult thing to do. I was reminded yesterday from my daughter, actually. I was talking to my daughter, who is a teacher up in Indiana, and they recently had a junior in her high school that committed suicide. And they were at the funeral for this young girl who took her own life. And the message from the minister was the story of Lazarus and how Jesus stood outside the tomb and invited Lazarus to come out, waiting for him to make the choice to join him. So I can only imagine that anybody who has taken their own life is given that same opportunity. They are invited to join him. And so hopefully that is the case for the Biffle family as well as for Wrench's mom. So with that, we're going to jump out of the way for the end of the first hour. We will be...
My sweet Lord, my Lord, my Lord, I really want to.
Now back to Casey Phillips on the open road. Give him a call at 8888 Road Dog.
This is hour number 2 of the open road. Casey hanging out with you. Hope you're having a fantastic day wherever today finds you. That was a tough hour. We talked about a lot of sad things, and so it's a gum flapping Friday. We can talk about any other things you want to talk about. Loss during the holidays, always tough. It does, though, give us a real good understanding that we have to remember the best parts of our parents and our loved ones and what they do for us. So if you guys want to get into some conversation about getting through grief during the holidays, we can talk about that. We can talk about anything. I will remind folks that 988 is a suicide and crisis lifeline. If you know somebody who is having some problems, it is a 24/7 service. They have English and Spanish, and so you can also jump online at 988lifeline.org if you need some help with some thoughts about doing something that your whole family will regret they didn't step in and help. It's a tough time, but let's go ahead and get back into the conversation with you. Let's go to Road Rage next up. Hey, Road Rage, what's going on, man?
Oh, just driving through. Hey, a quick weather update if you're heading on Interstate 80 in Ohio. Cleveland is some strong lake effect and definitely some strong winds coming into Toledo. And if you're in West Michigan, just coming into Grand Rapids or Kalamazoo up that 131 way, lake effect. They had that freezing rain came through, so it's very, very slick.
Thank you for the update. Yeah, everybody be careful if you're going up through there. Road Rage, does that 3XL trucker shirt fit you okay, man?
You know, last night we were at Truck World over in Hubbard, Ohio, and we tried the whole thing there. There's a lot of moving around, but it seemed to be comfortable. By the way, Donna's on the phone with us. I guess we're having a three-way now since you're asking her what she had on.
Oh, no. Well, hey, Donna, how you doing?
Hi. Good, how are you?
Good. It's like the old party line back in the 80s. Did you guys ever jump on the party line?
Oh, I heard so much gossip at my grandma's house. I would click on there and listen into those old ladies going off on everything.
That is awesome. Well, so where does today find you, Donna?
I am headed back to Grand Rapids, so I'm in Ohio. on 75 23 headed north.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
I get to go driving all this good weather we're having.
Road rage.
So-
How much time do y'all spend on the phone when you're running up and down the road base?
I'm just very glad
A
we
lot.
have unlimited.
You have unlimited, yeah. So it's just hour after hour after hour. And Donna, do you ever get tired of listening to road rage? Yeah.
No, not really. It's like he's with me all the time, so it helps pass the time.
Matter of fact, we just
Yeah,
split
that-
off. She went up I-75, and I'm going across 24 in Ohio and Toledo. So
Right with it,
Gotcha.
yeah. Otherwise, we were riding together all the way most of the morning, too. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's a wonderful time of year. What are the plans for the holidays for you two?
We talked about
try
going to
to
Nashville
avoid
for
family
New
as much
Year's.
as possible.
So road rage is avoiding
Yeah, right.
family. Donna, what about you?
He's avoiding his family. We'll be seeing my family, my kids. But we talked about going to Nashville for New Year's, so you know,
Hey, there
maybe
you
we'll
go.
end up down there in your neck of the woods. Never been down there for a New Year's, and that might be where we end up.
That'd be awesome. They do a really big celebration. Just make sure you bring a big wad of cash because beers are like $15 a pop if you come down.
Well, we were hoping you
All
were
right,
buying.
I'm broke and I'm getting sick. I'll probably still be sick, man.
By the way, I
That
still
sucks.
have this box of stuff I got to send to you, by the way. So if we come down there, I may give you a call just to say here with a mask on.
Oh, there you go. All right, man. Well, we can do it. Yeah, that would be awesome. I appreciate anything that gets sent in. The New Year celebration is pretty epic. I think we're supposed to have some good temps for that week, but typically when we have good temperatures in Tennessee during the wintertime, it's rainy. So it's I don't know. Do you want colder temps and snow, or do you want warmer temps and rain? I don't know what the better scenario is.
We're from Michigan. We're used
Florida.
to all of it. Yeah, Florida.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
Florida sunshine.
You don't get that. Yeah, we don't get that here. But we can dream about it. But just, guys, let me know if you're going to be coming in town, and I'd be happy to try and arrange some time to see you guys.
Sounds
That'd
great.
be awesome.
Hey, just because I can't think of it, Loki's dad's name, what's his handle?
Bandit.
Bandit. Was he an electrician?
Bandit, was he an electrician? No, I don't think so.
Oh, because his son got grounded.
Ah, you're so funny.
Or road rage. Where do you come up with this stuff?
I know. Yeah, I've used it before, but I'll say it again. People are shocked when they find out I'm not a good electrician.
Well, just keep with your current situation.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. All right. Well, you guys be safe today. Thank you all for the call, Road Rage and Donna. That was a twofer. We had a twofer. First time on the show. Well, maybe not the first time on the show that's happened, but it doesn't happen often. The old party line. I don't know if you guys remember that, and I'm sure that there's a lot of multiple use phone lines that have been used in trucking. I think that used to be a thing. And it might still be going on today. I don't know if there is a community out there where everybody dials into a phone number and then it's a chat with like 30 or 40 people on it. I think that's a pretty cool thing to keep you guys engaged and give you something to occupy your time running up and down the road. Let's do this. Yeah, we got time. Let's go to Trucker Stone next up. Hey, Trucker Stone, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, good sir. Happy Friday to you from good old Nevada there. Still heading to Reno. Be there about 1 o'clock your time. Weather's decent out here. It's in the 50s right now, but man, yesterday it was not white knuckle driving. It was just trying to keep the sails up and keep it out of the ditches. It was quite windy going through Nebraska yesterday on 80 and eastern Wyoming. No snow or anything. It was just windy as could be. High winds. I saw like 3 trucks flipped over yesterday.
Oh my God.
They weren't
How much
adhering
weight?
to their warnings.
How much weight?
I've got
did you have
75,000.
on? 55?
Well, I've got 75K. 75.
Okay.
I got 75 total gross. and those guys must have been empty when I went by because they had the warnings up, no empties or no campers under 20K, and I guess they didn't read the signs.
I know it. It's just a suggestion, right? It's just something that is for everybody else, not me. That's the last thing that goes through your mind probably when you're getting your rig turned over.
Oh yeah, I knock on wood, I don't want that to ever happen to me. But first off, I want to say condolences to everyone that lost somebody around the holidays.
Sure.
Sending it out on that. I called in yesterday, but I had a drop off because you changed the subject about trafficking, and I was talking to you about that a while back. I wanted to comment on the automation. Who's your investment guru? I don't want to step on his toes, but who always calls in and talks about investment? I can't remember his name.
Is it Midnight Rider?
Yeah, Midnight Rider. Yeah. But my comment is towards that is, hey, if there's not going to be no drivers no more, I'm going to figure out follow the money, like you said yesterday. Follow the money. How are drivers going to make money in the future if you can't drive a truck? Well, if they're all going to be autonomous, there's got to be a way to get in the ground floor to make money off the automation. You get what I'm saying?
I do. Well, maybe being trained up on how to be a monitor of the trucks that are all running autonomously. I would say that, and we've had the conversation on the show in the past, how is it that you can find the silver lining, right? And what is it that you can do today with your skill set to start preparing for what the future of trucking looks like? Maybe that means that you get into an operations role. Maybe that means you become into maintenance. Maybe you learn a new skill so that you could be a pilot of a fleet of a few vehicles. I don't know what that looks like or what the training would be, but just being aware that change might be coming down the pipeline is the best thing you could do, and just be curious, I think, is the number one goal. Be curious what you could do in the future.
Also, too, with that is, one of my mottos is learn to adapt to change. I mean, you were just talking about the skill set that you have now. You're going to have to learn new skills in order to keep up with society and the way it changes, because you know how society is with technology. It's always constantly changing. If you don't keep up, you're going to be left behind.
Yeah. I know a lot of times when change starts happening, there are a few people that have the foresight and they take a leap of faith. I remember when computers started becoming more and more prevalent. I had a good friend who bought in to be a Microsoft trainer, and so he started a small company in southern Indiana, and he would have people come in, and he was training them on how to understand Microsoft networks and things like that. And I always thought that was pretty cool, and there may be opportunities like that in trucking. Maybe if you learn a skill, then you can turn that into an opportunity where you are now training other people, and that's a good way to monetize the skill that you have developed just by having the foresight.
Oh, for sure. One last thing. You was asking earlier, what's everybody doing for Christmas? I kind of lucked out. I was trying to find a load to go down and visit some family and friends in Texas. But next load I'm picking up after this, I'm going to be running a load of milk out of Sacramento, California, up to Batavia, New York, about an hour from my house. And I'm taking off. I got to deliver it late Tuesday. I'll take off Christmas Eve, Christmas, and probably go back out on Friday, the 26th.
They're trucking milk from California to New York?
I don't know if they're sponsored or not, but yeah, it's HP Hood. It's a big name. I've hauled a lot of that milk before. Oh, yeah. They haul that milk all over the country. I've hauled, I can't remember as many loads as I've had. They got factories all over the country.
That's amazing, man. I mean, that's a lot of miles. I would think that there would be a manufacturer closer than all the way across the country to move a load of milk.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the loads going from east to west pay decent, but loads coming out of Cali are paying almost $2.50 a mile, so I can't complain.
No. I think it's good. If they want to plan the loads that way, then let it be. You can make money hand over fist on those types of loads, Stone.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And it was decent heading out this way. I just got to pay attention to that weather heading back, because I'm thinking if I'm going to take the toll roads, I usually want to stay away from the lakes, but I might go low, stay away from the lakes, and work my way back up.
Yeah. Awesome. Trucker Stone, thanks for the call, boss.
Thanks. Have Merry Christmas, KC. Talk to you on the 29th.
Christmas. Yes, sir. I will be back. Yeah, appreciate you. How low can you go? That is the question. He says he's going to go low. So when it comes down to trucking a load of milk cross country, I would just think that there would be dairies, in Wisconsin, that would be able to supply milk to New York. It's all about relationships, though, right? And so I'm not complaining. If there is a 3,500-mile load that you can run consistently week in, week out, that's got to be killer income. So with that, we're going to take a quick time out. If you want to get in, I'd love to have you. 8888 Road Dog. Midnight Rider, you are next. Hold on the line. We will be back on the open road.
This is The Open Road with KC Phillips. Get in on the conversation at 8888 Road Dog.
Let's jump right back into the conversation with you. If you want to get in, love to have you. 888-876-2336, AAA Road Dog. Next up is one Midnight Rider. Midnight Rider, what's going on, boss?
Yeah, I want to get some feedback from people out there with experience. I switched jobs a couple months ago, and after about 2 weeks, I got a call saying that I need to come in and speak to safety about my following distance. So I was like, what's going on? She goes, you're supposed to maintain 6 seconds of following distance. I'm like, yeah, but okay, if I maintain 6 seconds, what happens when another vehicle comes from the left lane between my following distance? Oh, then you're supposed to hit your brake and slow down to get 6 seconds.
Yeah.
You always maintain 6 seconds. I'm like, but, all right, I'll try it. So for 20 minutes, I tried it like that. I'm on a highway at 75 miles an hour, and I noticed I was going 43 miles an hour. Now I'm a threat to becoming rear-ended.
Exactly.
Right? So
exactly.
Now, if I'm not supposed to get any closer than 6 seconds, and I want to pass the truck that's doing 66 miles an hour in front of me, and I'm doing 68, now I'm 2 football fields. Now I'm switching into the left lane. Now I'm impeding traffic. So my question for her was, does the truck in front of me need following distance too? Stopping distance? Because I'm going to use his, because I cannot drive like that.
Yeah.
It's more like 100. You got to come up to about 150 feet behind the vehicle in front of you, then change lanes and get past him, and then give him, make sure you're not cutting him off or her, and then give them enough, you don't want to get cut in front of them too. So you wait another 150 feet, and then you get back over and you maintain. Because 6 second following distance in traffic, now I'm doing 43 and a 75. Now I become dangerous.
Yeah.
So I would like some feedback from other experienced drivers on passing distance and what their companies tell them about passing. She told me, no, if a car gets between you and your following distance, you're supposed to hit your brake and slow down. I tried it her way for about 15 minutes, and I'm like, no, I'm done. I don't work for you anymore. Don't tell me what to do.
Yes.
So what you need,
what the conversation needs to be is, what is more important to you? Is it my following distance, or is it on-time delivery? Because if you are continually driving 45 miles an hour, you'll never make your delivery on time. So
you'll never be able to pass anybody, because now you get in the left lane and you're impeding traffic. That's a stupid friggin' rule. I almost asked her something. I almost told her a couple of things that her husband would have wanted to kill me.
No.
Anyway, I got questions for you.
All right.
What you have, is it, you think it's a variant of COVID? Another variant?
I have no
What
idea.
you want to do is go on your way home. Well, you're already at home, please. Get a couple of quarts of orange juice. Get a couple of boxes of, well, if they come in 10 in a box, it's called Emergency. It's powdered vitamin C.
I just had
what
two
I
of
do
them.
when I have, what I do is I take orange juice and I pour 2 envelopes of powdered. You got to drink some of the orange juice, you get it down about an inch or two, so that when you pour the vitamin C, the powdered vitamin C in there, put the cap on, shake it up real good, and then take about an hour to drink the whole thing, and you'll be able to feel the vitamin C working, because it works. You know, it's a good way to combat that type of an illness. And I have another question, but I want to just tell what I did was when I had COVID. It felt like the flu, but it was different, and I knew it had to be COVID. So what I did was I got 3 quarts of orange juice, a bunch of the vitamin C pack. I got NyQuil, and I took a dose of NyQuil, and I made sure every 5 or 6 hours when I woke up, I took more NyQuil and went back to sleep, and I slept for like 32 hours, you know, medicating myself like that. And the NyQuil helped me get back to sleep, because when you sleep, it helps heal your body. So that sickness was like about a day and a half, maybe 2 days when it was finally out of my system, compared to it could be 3, 4, 5 days.
Sure.
So that's how I medicate myself. Get some NyQuil, take a day in the bed, just keep medicating yourself with vitamin C. You can't overdose on it, so
yeah, you just
really want to
the rest of it.
You just want to overkill. Yeah, and the more you have in your system, it helps fight whatever is in there. And my question is, that I said I had one more question. If COVID, and if somebody has the COVID and the flu at the same time, does COVID kill the flu? Do they fight? So is it going to be one day that the flu is not there anymore? Now it's just COVID?
I don't know. That's a really good question. We need to get Fauci on the line with us, man, because he knows everything, right? I would say they're both viruses, influenza, and I do think that COVID is a strain of flu virus. So I think probably one would dominate the other, or else they would both work in tandem to make you feel really crappy. As far as your recommendation, I am grateful for you sharing with me the tips on how you get healthy. I do have a box of emergency down in the medicine cabinet, and I took 2 this morning. So I take 2 pouches that I just mix in water, though, and try to keep my vitamin C level bumped up whenever I start to feel low. And for me, it's just a little bit of congestion. I did not ever go to the doctor the last time, and the sinus infection, because when you have a bunch of mucus in your system and you start to expectorate, which means get rid of it, spit it up, when you start to see it, if it's green, that means you have an infection. If it's clear or yellow, it's not an infection. And I had a bunch of green mucus coming up, so I know it was an infection. But the last couple of times I've been to the doctor, they say, well, we just want to let your body develop its own defenses. So they would not prescribe me anything, especially because a virus typically is not anything you can treat. You just have to let it go, right? So I would say that this is something that will just continue to hang on, and I have to treat it like you're talking about. Get as much natural defenses as I can, and vitamin C obviously is a big part of that. So appreciate the tip. We have got to take a quick break. Whenever we come back, jumping right back into the conversation. Thanks for everybody holding on so long. I know it's taken a long time. Vegas, you're next. Old man, sit tight. Mike in North Dakota, Hot Shot. You guys are all right around the corner, so sit tight with us. This is The Open Road. I'm KC, coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee, and we'll be right back.
Let your voice be heard at 8888 Road Dog. Now back to The Open Road with KC Phillips.
We are cruising through hour number 2 of the show. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day out there wherever they find you. It is a gum flapping Friday. Whatever's on your mind's fair game. We can just have a good conversation. So we've heard from a lot of you so far. I do like the question that Midnight Rider throws out about following distance and how your companies are telling you how to drive your vehicle. This is one of those deals that, in my opinion, is like adaptive cruise control. With adaptive cruise control, if you're utilizing that collision mitigation technology and that driver assist feature, which is how the industry of light-duty vehicles is going, typically you're going to end up driving as slow as the slowest driver on the road because your car is always going to be adapting to the vehicle in front of you, and typically that means they're driving slower than you are. And so for a lot of people, that's okay, but for a lot of other people, I got places I need to be. And I cannot get locked in behind the person driving 50 miles an hour whenever it's a 75 mile an hour speed limit. So it is something that we have to make sure that we take ownership of how you operate your vehicle. Obviously do it safely, but is a 6-second following distance the norm? Is this customary in trucking? And do your companies try to make you drive a different way than you know is, number one, safe for you, and number two, gets in the way of you making deliveries when you need to make them and how you need to make them? So if you got some thoughts on that and you want to get in, love to have you. 8888 Road Dog. Let's go to Vegas next up. Johnny Vegas, that is. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, okay, Casey. Hey, I'm glad to hear everybody's voice that I can recognize because I thought I turned into the wrong channel this morning, like
Why
a
is
medical channel. but good to hear from you. So, yeah, so you're at home. But real quick, I got to agree with Midnight Rider because, no, he is absolutely right. And I'm on the same page as Midnight Rider, maybe because I can understand him very easily because we're both from New York City. And if I had to pick a co-driver,
yeah.
Yeah, so if I had to work again with a co-driver, he would be the driver I would work with. But it would be a battle on who's going to talk the longest during the trip.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyway, no, I did what he did because when I was driving the limo, we were taking people to California more than any hotel in Vegas. And a lot of the drivers didn't want to take the ride to California to drop somebody off because it might have been, during the holiday weekend was most of the trips. So they didn't want to go. So it always felt in my lap. And I was always glad to go because I, get on the open road for a while. So anyway, they have black boxes in the limo, I found out. So they called me into the office and they say, yeah, can you tell me, we have a printout, why were you going 90 miles an hour with the limo on the California interstate?
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, okay. Well, I said, you know what? How long was I going 90 miles an hour? So they said, well, for 2 seconds. I said, okay, and then what? And then you slowly drop down, to 80, to 70, to 65, the speed limit. I says, okay. Well, I says, I wasn't going to ride in bottleneck traffic. There was a tractor trailer where it merges from, I think, 10 to 15. And there's a hill. When you merge, you start going uphill. So I didn't want to stay behind. All this traffic was all bottled up. You got cars waiting to go 80, 90 miles an hour, and now they're behind traffic. So I passed the tractor trailer because the lane was going to merge from 2 to 1. So I wanted to get out of the way and get away from the traffic.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. So I said, well, if that's my style, I thought that was safer than staying backed up with tractor trailers on my tail, on my 6, on my 12, cars on the side of me. I wanted to be out of that congestion when I could see up ahead. I could see 2 miles up ahead. There's nobody on the road. That's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in a safer spot with nobody around me. That's what I did.
Amen. And I think that there is nothing wrong with that. Did you have to bend or maybe break a rule to get there? Yeah. But at the same time, you lived to tell the tale, and you did what you had to do.
Yeah, I says I practice safety no matter. That safety is my priority, and if that's what you got to do for 2 seconds, that's what I got to do. If you don't like it, here's the keys. If you don't like it, so that's my stuff.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Vegas.
Okay.
Hey, man, we're going to cut you loose, my friend. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Casey. I sent you that package.
Oh, fantastic.
To the, yeah, so look for it. So I know you're going to be home. Enjoy your holiday. And
you too.
Safe travels if you do travel. And
All right.
everybody, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Be good. I'd like to see a picture of the Vegas Strip all done up for the holidays. I wonder, do they get the palm trees all lighted up with the holiday spirit? I wonder. Let's grab Old Man Kings Fan next up. Hey, Old Man Kings Fan.
Que paso, amigo?
Hey, how you?
I'm just dandy, man. But before I forget, I want to ask a question. How come the poor excuse for a show host yesterday did not recognize the 82nd birthday of Keith Richards?
Yeah. Why? How could I miss that one?
I don't know. Did you think he was already dead?
Isn't he? I know the career is basically dead, but is the man dead?
Hey.
Easy.
Hey, the dude that mentioned taking the milk to Batavia, New York. Well,
Yes.
Batavia, New York, which is in upstate Western New York, is where I had one of my most fondest Christmases ever in an ice and snowstorm at the ripe old age of 6 years old, brother.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Yeah, we took the train from Los Angeles Union Station to Rochester, New York, and spent the holidays with the grandparent and uncles and all that stuff. We had the Feast of the Seven Fishes. I mean, come on. Don't get much better than that.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did I hear
Yes, sir.
you just say you took a train from L.A. to New York?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
How long did that take?
I believe it was 4 days.
Oh, my gosh. And you were
Dude,
6 years old?
Dude, I got to spend a lot of time in the club car having, what was the guy's version of a Shirley Temple?
Well, they used to call
Roy
it Buck
Rogers.
Rogers, I think, wasn't it?
There you go. Yeah, Buck Rogers, Roy Rogers, whatever it was.
Roy Rogers. Okay, yes. Roy Rogers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had just a tremendous time. I will never forget that trip, ever.
That's awesome. 4 days on a train.
Yeah, it was great. Hey, we loved it. My brother and I had a great time. I don't know if my mom and dad had such a great time, but they seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But, I've 35 years with that big bank, not one sick day, ever. Not one sick day in 35 years. But I will tell you this. Every year, at the end of the year, I always took 1 or 2 weeks vacation, and I always got sick. Every year.
I don't know what it is, man. Why my body does this to me. But it does.
I had a term for it. It's a YEBO, YEBO, year-end burnout.
Yes. So here's a thought. And listen, the management at SiriusXM, they are cunning, right? And so they set all the hosts up with the ability to work from home so that if you do get sick, you got no excuse. If I can talk, I can do my job, right? So I see how they operate.
Yeah, well, just as long as you don't keep on bringing up the color of the stuff coming out of your system, my brother. Jeez, Louise.
It's great.
Lee, your always made me gag on my coffee this morning.
We would not want that.
And by the way, you and Mr. Michael can keep those damn German sausages. I mean, what self-respecting Sicilian would you ever go near a German sausage?
We already ate them. Yeah, we figured you didn't want them, so thanks for that. Hey, so what does the old man do for the holidays, man? I know when you were younger, you'd go do the Feast of the Seven Fishes, but in today's world, what does it look like?
Well, today's world, I've been summoned to go 3 hours south, kids and grandkids gathering, and I'm supposed to bring 6 dozen meatballs and sauce.
Ooh, that's 72.
So that's what
That's
That's
a lot
what
of
I'll be working
meatballs.
on. Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be meatball making days.
I need
And
to
then
get
I'll
that
cruise
recipe.
down there and pardon me?
I need to get that recipe.
I will be glad to send it to you, but you have to keep it, under wraps because
Close to the best.
It really is the best.
My wife
But,
makes a mean meatball, man. We could do a head-to-head taste test to see if the old man meatball outdoes the Susan meatball.
Well, I tell you what, I will send the recipe, and Susan can make it, and then you can tell us all what you think of it.
All right.
As far as I'm concerned, nobody beats Grandma's meatballs.
I'm going to take the high road today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know I left that one open, didn't I? Yeah, because you're going to be waggish, weren't you?
Yeah. it is the holidays.
Listen,
I want to make sure Santa pays me a visit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, and listen, before you cut me off, a Bona Natale to you and your family, Dispatch Dave, Mr. Michael, and all the road dogs out there. Everyone enjoy your holidays and be safe out there.
Good on you, man. Hey, grateful for your friendship, and go Predators. We'll talk to you soon. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, right back into it. Mike in North Dakota, you're next. Hold on. I got Hot Shot coming up. And then looks like next after that's going to be, Mike in Massachusetts. Y'all sit tight. We'll be right back.
.88 Road Dog will get you on the show, but with the SiriusXM app. Listen back to your call anytime. Here's Casey Phillips.
We've had a turn of events happen. It is crazy. There are 2 ticket holders that have called in and are neck and neck. So Mike in North Dakota, sit tight. We'll get to you. Mike in Massachusetts, Hot Shot. I'm going to get to you guys. But first up, let's bring in Golden Ticket. That is going to be Mr. Mighty Joe. Mighty Joe, thanks for calling in, man. What's up?
Sure, not much. How's everything been going?
It's good. It's good. Other than feeling like I got another sickness coming on, I'm doing okay.
Uh-oh.
It's feeling better now, though. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, sure. You better have your wife make you some chicken soup.
I know it. She better do something, right?
.88 Road Dog will get you on the show, but with the SiriusXM app. Listen back to your call anytime. Here's Casey Phillips.
We've had a turn of events happen. It is crazy. There are 2 ticket holders that have called in and are neck and neck. So Mike in North Dakota, sit tight. We'll get to you. Mike in Massachusetts, Hot Shot. I'm going to get to you guys. But first up, let's bring in Golden Ticket. That is going to be Mr. Mighty Joe. Mighty Joe, thanks for calling in, man. What's up?
Sure, not much. How's everything been going?
It's good. It's good. Other than feeling like I got another sickness coming on, I'm doing okay.
Uh-oh.
It's feeling better now, though. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, sure. You better have your wife make you some chicken soup.
I know it. She better do something, right? About time she did something.
Ooh.
I know she's
Don't let her hear
outside
you
right
say
now.
that.
That's the only reason I can say it, because she's outside. We have our garbage men are actually getting the garbage taken out right now, and my wife is really good about giving them gifts for the holiday, and so she's out right now talking to the garbage men. So I know I can say these things without any backlash.
Oh, jeez. Case, yeah, I hear that. I don't know if you heard the news yesterday, because I know with I can't remember his name. He comes on Wednesdays during NASCAR to do the NASCAR report.
Yes.
But I don't know if you heard the news yesterday about Greg Biffle.
Yeah, I did. We actually had Brad Gilly on this morning talking about it. Yep.
Did you? Yeah, I missed the first, 2 hours or hour of the show, 2 hours of the show, whatever it was.
It's okay. That's a tragic accident, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that yesterday, and it blew my mind.
Well, I didn't know exactly who Greg Biffle was and how important he was to the sport, but he was a philanthropist, a very charitable person. He headed up a lot of relief efforts in North Carolina. You know, there are people like this, and when you see that we lose them and their whole family goes with them, it's just so tragic, and especially around the holidays, man. I mean, it just, we don't need it, but it happens.
I know, and it wasn't just him; it was his entire family.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, so yeah, tough, man.
It is. I went back, was listening to a little bit. Where the question that was asked about following distance and that. I'll tell you what, my company I work for, they're big on that with the following distance. We have that stupid forward collision mitigation stuff, and the predictive cruise, which is really a pain going, especially climbing a hill or something, because you start getting too close to a vehicle, it starts slowing you down, and then you're too far away to be able to pass. You know, because it slows you down before you get close enough to be able to pass someone.
You know, it's all about the lesser of the evils, right? I mean, so with companies that are so focused on fuel economy, the last thing you want to do is tap the brakes when you're on a grade. You don't want to have the engine working harder. It burns more fuel. So I do think that there are times where you have to choose the lesser of two evils and maybe disengage that adaptive cruise and use your foot feed so that you know you're keeping your momentum going, especially on a climb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I usually will turn around. With ours, if I put my foot down on the throttle, it'll override the adaptive cruise. You know, it'll pick up the speed back up to our. You know, we're governed at 68, so I can bring it back up to 68 so that I can get close to somebody to pass them.
Yeah.
But many times I've had it turn around, I'm too far away from them, and it starts slowing me down. Usually I'll realize it because I'll hear the truck start beeping. And I'm like, okay, if I don't put my foot down on the pedal, there's no way I'm getting around this other driver quickly because everybody will start coming around me on the right.
You know, it's hard for me to imagine that companies would be so micromanaging that they would be concerned with these types of behaviors that exist or these types of choices that you have to make when you're driving. Because you need to have some level of autonomy, and it's just professional courtesy. And so if there are companies that are doing this, Mighty Joe, I wonder, do they give you, as the operator of the vehicle, do they give you an open line where you guys can talk about these things internally? So if there's something that just seems really crazy, that they hear it from you?
Oh, yeah. We can go to any of them in the office and talk to them. As a matter of fact, they tried putting this thing in our trucks where they called it a split pedal, where you had one speed on the cruise and a slower speed on the pedal.
Right.
Well, okay, that's fine to a point, but it was getting to a point, you know, you get close to someone, like we're using the cruise, and it won't let you get close enough that you could where it's safe to pass them, because otherwise you get over, you know, you're too far back, and you know how cars are. Well, you put your foot down. As soon as you put your foot down on the pedal, it would not let you go above what the lower speed was. And several of us, there was a bunch of us that went and complained right to the president of our company. I know myself actually did it because I happened to run into him in the parking lot walking into the office the one day. I grabbed a hold of him and really nicely I told him he was an idiot for it.
I grabbed a hold of him by the neck. No, I'm just kidding.
He doesn't have a neck.
A couple of things. When you say you ran into him, I'm like, oh, how much damage did it do to his vehicle? You could have maybe lost a job. But, yeah, you know, it's crazy. I'm glad to hear, though, that you do have that open line of communication. Because everybody needs to be able to infuse some common sense. And a lot of times, people who are making policies, and I'll be honest with you, I was guilty of this. I was helping write policies when I worked in trucking operations, and I wasn't a driver. I didn't come from the driving background. I could drive a truck, but I didn't do it out on the road like you guys are doing it. And so for me to be writing policies, I need to have somebody who is being impacted by the policy to help steer me in the direction that makes sense, right? So when it comes to the following distance question that Midnight Rider threw out there, when it comes to the ability for you to disengage adaptive cruise and other collision mitigation technologies, or as they call them in the industry, driver assist features, that was the positive spin on this type of technology. But when you, if you are using them and it's mandated and they're micromanaging you so much that they're monitoring and criticizing or taking it as a training opportunity when you don't use them, you have to have a common sense conversation with these people that it just doesn't make sense. And talk to them from the standpoint of fuel economy, on-time delivery, the aggressive nature of other drivers when you do have a 6-second following distance. You can't possibly keep that distance because everybody's filling it up with more and more vehicles. So it's a tough one. Thank you for the call, buddy. Let's grab right before the break. We got Dad Joke Trucker, Mr. Silver Ticket. Oh, sorry, you're the bronze ticket this month. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. I'm just cruising. I had to shut down a lot earlier than I wanted to last night because this freaking blizzard that was blowing through North Dakota and into Minnesota and all the Midwestern states. I seen something on Facebook yesterday or the day before that out in Wyoming they had like 2 days ago or something, they had hurricane force winds, 114 miles per hour.
Wow.
I'm glad I didn't have to deal with that. But
yeah, I'm sure.
Yesterday, your last caller, I can't remember her name, but she was talking about y'all were talking about automated trucks and all that.
Miss Michelle.
Yeah, she said, well, I don't understand why they're wanting to do this now. We've been driving the way we have for so long. Well, to play devil's advocate, we for centuries, we went without cell phones. We had to write letters, stick a note into the claws of a pigeon. So why do we need cell phones?
Right.
Saying they're going to progress eventually, and right now I understand that the main gripe I think most of us have is we want it to be all about focused on safety. But
yeah. Dad Joe Trucker, hey man, I am so sorry I got to leave it there. We're out of time for the hour, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by Angela Griffin of Simple Living, talking about staying healthy in the truck. So thank you for the call. I will comment when we get finished with Angela. Quick time out. This is hour number 2 done. Hour number 3 is coming up.
8888 Road Dog. You got the number. Now get on the show. This is The Open Road with KC Phillips.
This is hour number 3 of The Open Road. KC hanging out with you. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day wherever today finds you. Joining us is Angela Griffin of Simple Living. Angela, how's it going today?
It's going good. It's a little windy out, like some of the other drivers have mentioned. We are driving north, and the wind is starting to pick up.
Oh my gosh! You're on the East Coast, right?
Yeah, we're on the East Coast, going up 95.
Gotcha. All right. Well, stay safe out there. Do you have a good load on?
I do. Yeah, I'm pulling double trailers today, and they are both heavy trailers, so it'll keep us stuck down to the ground.
The old wiggle wagons. All right. Well, sounds good
That's
to
right.
you. Hey, it is the season of cheer, obviously. Are you getting close to being ready for Christmas?
In the truck, of course, yes. We have. We've already been celebrating Christmas in the truck, and we have decorations up, and we've been doing some cookies at home. Heck no, because I'm just not there enough.
Well, I know you're going to join us to get things started on Christmas Eve on that show, so we'll definitely talk about cookies. I think that'll be a good conversation to have. But obviously, it's the season of weather change as well. and I'm starting to feel a little bit of congestion in my chest. And I know that you have been coming through some stuff too. So it's a great conversation to be thinking about staying well in the holidays. So number one, tell me what illness were you experiencing, and how are you feeling today?
So I am almost completely better. Sometimes a cough still lingers, and so I got it at Thanksgiving. You know, 'tis a season of sharing, and so I picked it up at Thanksgiving, and it lasted like 2 weeks, and it's still just kind of lingering on. But I just was really, really down and out. I'm guessing it was probably like bronchitis. I didn't go to the doctors because then it was right back on the road, and that makes it this big whole other thing. And like you said, so many doctors are like, well, just let it run its course. But it sounded a little bit like yours also, like the sinus infection and all that stuff. And it took my voice completely until I had nothing. So I'm glad I'm feeling a lot better.
Did Scott enjoy the peace and quiet for once?
He did. He said it was odd. He was like, this is weird. After day 3, he was like, I hope you get better soon.
Yeah, I can just imagine he's driving. You're supposed to be back in the bunk, and he's like, "Is there anybody in there? I mean, it's too quiet around these places." That's
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, that does go right into, like you said, the topic of, so what do you do though when, even in your situation where you know you could use medicine, or if you're a driver like we are and you're stuck out on the road and you can't get to the doctors. You know, it happens so often. And so a couple years ago, well, I guess it's probably been 5 or 6 years now, we've stumbled upon a company called Jace Medical. And there's other companies now that have popped up similar to them. But it is, if you've had a physical by a doctor in the last year, then you can go online and get the antibiotics. And it's a kit that they send you in the mail, and it treats, I don't even know the number, a very wide range of different things, from bronchitis, pneumonia, pink eye, a urinary tract infection, to Lyme's disease. I mean, so you get 5 different kinds of antibiotics in their basic kit, which is only around $300 or so, and it's a year's worth of antibiotics.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
And it
what is
comes
the
with a whole
product again?
guide.
Okay.
It's
What
called
what is it
Jace,
called?
Jace Medical.
Okay.
And so it's a little pouch that has different antibiotics in it. And then it comes with a guide. So you look at your symptoms. So I looked at it. It was sinus infection, coughing, lung congestion, and then it tells you what antibiotic you need out of the kit and how long to take it.
Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So these aren't though like prescription strength? They
Mhm.
are? Okay.
They
Because I
are.
would think that you
Yeah.
would need to have a doctor sign off on that.
They do. So when you present your physical saying that you have been seen by a doctor over this last year, then it's for people that also kind of start out with people that are in homesteading environments and things like that live out more remote areas, and that kind of how it started, are people that were going to be doing backpacking and just weren't going to be able to get regular medical care. And so, yeah, they're full strength antibiotics from a doctor. And so you send it in and the doctor approves it. And if they have any questions, they'll email you back and forth. And then after it all gets approved, then it just gets sent in the mail.
That's really amazing. I'm looking at them online right now, and so it's something I've never heard about. This is really cool.
It has saved me so many times. So I have a really weak immune system. I always have my entire life, and I'm really, really prone to getting bronchitis, strep throat, pneumonia, all of those kind of things. And so usually if I start to get sick within 36 hours, it's already turned to infection. And so for me, this has been game changer because there was times Scott had to drop me off like at an urgent care on the side of the road because we're pulling double. So he can't just stop and let me out. He kind of had to loop around, find a space to park, come pick me up. And that's like a really big or like stressful ordeal trying to get medical treatment while you're on the road, because not many truck stops have urgent cares in them. And so once we stumbled upon this, then it has kept me from getting full on pneumonia. I mean, it's really, really been game changer for me. And I know for many drivers, it's that way. I mean, I've heard so many drivers that have had to abandon their entire truck and like fly home or get a hotel room because they just get so sick and they can't get medical care until they're really sick. And so this is a tool that can really help them.
Yeah, this is something that is new to me, and I know that the challenge has been there for some time. Being able to get to see somebody that could provide medical treatment if you need it. This seems like a good safety net for you to always have, because they sell kits, like you mentioned, and there are many different options out there on their website. Jace Medical, that's pretty cool. It's JASE.com.
And I don't get endorsed by them.
No. I know
just
you're
love it so much. Like
Yeah.
I just know how much it's done for me, and even for you right now. Like you said, you feel frustrated not going to the doctor. Well, if you had this at home, you'd already be getting better.
Yeah. Oh, I will say this, Justin R. If you're listening to us, this is not a paid advertisement, because I always get grief. Another paid advertisement.
Oh yeah, no,
So-
no, not at all. I don't make any money. No, I just don't want drivers or you to have to keep dealing with being sick. But other things I heard other drivers mention, just having the emergency Z packs on the truck, or sometimes
Yeah.
we'll carry Mucinex or a neti pot. I don't know if you've heard of a neti pot.
I have.
Some people
My
use
daughter
for or
uses
against
it, and I've never used it. Something seems too invasive for me with a neti pot. I've never tried to use one. Have you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah. And it really does help. Now you have to be careful, because if you have a full-on sinus infection, and you don't want liquid to be trapped in your sinus cavities, but if you're starting to come down with something, it definitely clears your sinuses from, getting completely sick sometimes. Because we try to do the all natural as much as we can before we have to hit it with something stronger like the antibiotics. But I mean, it's definitely been really, really helpful, and we have gotten far less sick, as severe sick, I should say. And we even had it when, COVID was going around. And so we did get COVID when we were on the road, but we didn't get nearly as sick or down. Scott got pretty sick because he just thought, oh, you just have a cold, you'll be fine. And then he didn't start on it soon enough, and it took him out for a little bit. But we got faster than a lot of other people that we knew.
Right. Well, I do know that there is a problem in the U.S. with overuse of medicines, and so I wonder if the JACE people, if they address that. You said that there are guides that they send out. So can you talk a little bit about the guides and how they monitor, or do they monitor, the usage of the medicines that they're selling?
So when you go through getting it at first, it's a form that you're filling out online, and then it's questions asked back. But once you receive it, it is up to you to monitor. But it comes with a book that tells you the exact symptoms, asking you the same questions that a doctor would ask you. But they also, I believe, have the telehealth that you can call in and talk to somebody if you don't feel comfortable diagnosing your own self, because you don't want to take it if you don't need it, because when you do need it, the antibiotics aren't going to work, or the medications aren't going to work. So it's kind of up to you to know. But I know most drivers, it's something they struggle with, unfortunately, is getting a urinary tract infection probably every couple years, just because it's a driver's bad habit of just holding it way too long, because there's no place to pull over. And so, but once you start getting one, and if you had an antibiotic on board, that's going to make a big difference. And so those are kind of some of the things that they treat. And so I think it just comes under best discretion. And you have to take your own health into your own hands. And really, once you start taking care of your own health and being in charge of it, not relying on so many others, your health does typically improve, because you realize, like, oh, I don't want to overdo it. You just find more confidence in yourself and understanding how you're feeling.
Got
like you said, looking for the signs. Am I blowing out green boogers? Oh, I might have a sinus infection. Maybe I should take the sinus infection medicine.
Right. Well, I do know as well with say, Midnight Rider, who called in talking about using emergency, and you mentioned it as well. The way that it is prescribed well, not prescribed, that's the wrong word. The way that the dosing is written on the package, it says to take 1. Well, I always take 2. My sister
Likewise.
says take 3, you know, so my sister says do 3 of them in a pack. It's like, I'll stick with 2. I think that overdoing it in hopes of knocking out an illness faster is the reason people would take it. But when you start dealing with antibiotics, to your point, you definitely need to make sure that you're monitoring and following the dosing so that you don't get sick, because you can get sick. And that's why the medical industry has, like they've done with me, stopped providing prescriptions for or for prescription strength medications, because they want our bodies to figure it out on their own. So it's very important that we take that responsibility seriously.
Yeah, and it's funny because in most other countries, doctors aren't as fluently available in many other countries, and there's less sickness in some areas because people listen to their bodies more and take care of themselves differently. They have a little bit more proactiveness, and so if they know they're going to a holiday function, or if they know that they're going to go to certain things, they're going to eat foods, the bone broths, the chicken soups, and different things that are going to help boost their immune system. They're eating foods that have different herbs and a lot more vitamin-rich kinds of foods. So a lot of soups are really big during the wintertime because they help boost our immune system. So in a lot of other places, they were a lot more proactive, and they take charge of their own health instead of always having to listen for guidance from somebody else and just doing what they're told.
Gotcha. Good stuff. All right. Hey, Angela, great to hear from you. Simple Living is where you can find her. I know that's on many different platforms, and I'm an old guy, so tell people where they can find you on socials.
Yeah, so they can go to Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, and it's Simple Living. There's no G on the end of it. And so if they get to YouTube, they can click in the description. Yeah, YouTube, if they go in the description, they can find the other platforms really easy. It's probably the easiest way to find it.
Great tips there,
Thank
Angela. You have a great day. And, hey, be safe out there as you move towards Christmas. We'll talk to you on the 24th.
All right. You get better.
All right. Will do. That is Angela Griffin. We're going to take a quick time out. When we get back, right back to the conversation. Mike in North Dakota, you're next. Hot shot. You're right for that. And we'll go to Mike in Massachusetts. This is The Open Road. I'm Casey coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee, and we will be right back.
Got an opinion? Yeah, we all do. May as well share it at 8888 Road Dog. We can't wait. Here's Casey Phillips.
Hour number 3 of The Open Road. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day wherever today finds you. Let's get to Mike in North Dakota. Whoo! Mike, we made it, man. Finally.
Woohoo! Yeah. Hey, ask your call screener how cold it is up here. But you can't say it on the air. So.
Okay, you're wanting me to ask Dave how cold it is. Dave, can you tell me?
He can't tell you on the air, though.
Yeah, we can't say that on the air.
Well, when I'm sitting here, I don't know if you're on the air or not, or if you're just in my ear. So can you put it in VX message?
Yeah, I'll just put it in your ear.
Well, I don't understand that reference. I did get that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I just don't know that was good for radio.
It probably is not.
Probably not. Yes. Anyway. So anyway, so we've had a few things that have been interesting. First off, I don't know the guy whose mom died, but my condolences. That's really sad, and it's kind of a crappy time to have that happen.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've had some similar dealings, but nothing that traumatic. So I kind of get it. That owl thing, I think it was before I've talked about the owl thing, which is when I turned you on. I actually still have one from when I was probably 8 years old in a box somewhere. Not
what
in
is it?
Its original
Do you
box.
still have?
That owl you guys were talking about at the beginning, towards the beginning there.
The show
TV
Owl?
show? Yes. There was a stuffed animal for that from 1986. I still have that thing from when I was 8 years old in a box somewhere.
That's a throwback, man. Yeah.
Yes. I think there's even a picture of it. Anyway, and your lady was just talking, mentioned about being sick on the road, and I've done that. I went to a clinic and I told them, hey, duct tape me up and send me home. I got an 8-hour drive. They're like, no. They're like, hospital's across the street. We've already called you. Get to 7. Oh, okay. Spent a week there for the wife to come down and get me, and they only released me if she put me back in the hospital when we got home for observation.
Wow. What was the issue?
Short version was when I was probably in because this was in 2017. So probably about 12 years prior, I had a root canal, and it was like Nurse Ratched doing the root canal. And, it was brutal. I ended up, my insurance sucked. I ended up having to pay like $400 cash just to get the laughing gas or whatever. I never had it finished. I didn't know any better. I was in my 20s. Who knows better? I never had it finished. They just made the pain stop. And like I said, I wasn't going back to her because I wasn't going back to her. We'll just leave it at that. And I never had it dealt with. And it broke down over the years, and I caught an infection. Drove back from Denver to northeast North Carolina, and then into Virginia with like 100 degree temp. And finally, I was like, I can't take this no more. I found a clinic. I Ubered to the clinic. The hospital's across the street. And they said I was almost septic. If you know anything about white counts, I guess 12,000 is you have a cold, and I was pushing 25,000.
Oh my
They said I would have never made it to Charleston, an hour away. So they let the wife come and get me if she put me in the hospital at home for observation.
Sure.
Because they had dealt with it. They had dealt with it there. The company had to come and recover my truck. All that good stuff. They felt bad because they realized they could have sent me home, detoured me and run me through the house, but they didn't. We run kind of specific areas, and I was out of our specific area up until I got into Illinois, and at that point, totally trying to do a load swap totally would have been possible. But whatever, it is what it is, and it is what it was.
You know what I'm hearing though, Mike. When it comes down to producers, hard runners, guys like you that get out there and do it every day, you probably thought that you were going to be able to power through this, and if not for the people surrounding you that had a different idea about what you needed to be doing, you might not be here today talking with us about it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's totally what it was. I'll be all right. Just suck it up. When I got to the clinic, I'm like, I got an 8-hour drive home. I think I can make it. I just drove, from Denver to, clear across the country. I think I can make it another 8 hours. They're like, no, no, you won't.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, I'm glad to hear you're here to tell the tale. And I will say that many times I have thought, you know what, I'm going to be okay. It's hard for people that work for a living, and when I say work, it's just like I mentioned earlier. When I have vacation, I'm standing around uneasy because I'm like, what do I need to be doing? Because there's always something to get done, right? And a lot of people are like that. We spend so much of our time working that illness just doesn't have there's no room in our lives for illness. But when we get sick, it's hard to turn off and say, you know what, I need to take care of myself in this moment. And so, yeah, good to have people who are telling you, hey, you need to take some medicine, take some time, and relax. Let your body heal a little bit. Another thing I'll say is this. Angela mentioned using a neti pot, and Dispatch Dave was quick to recommend if you do use a neti pot, which a neti pot is where you pour water into your sinuses. So you pour them in one nostril, and it runs through your sinuses to clear it out. So make sure you boil the water before you do it, but don't put boiling water in your nasal passage. Make sure it's cooled. But you do want to boil the water so that there's no bacteria getting in there to make yourself sicker. You want to make sure you use clean water for sure. Thank you, Dave. Let's grab Hot Shot next up in Dallas. Hot Shot, thanks for holding on, man. What's going on?
Hey, Casey, can you hear me?
I got you, 5x5.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I was just going to let you know, my go-to is Alka-Seltzer, and they have the day and the night, and it's
Okay.
Plop, Plop, Fizz, Fizz. And I use warm water, and it just knocks anything out. Like I had a little bit of a cough and some drainage, and it dried everything up. I took it last night, and I'm good to go today.
I'm trying to remember if I've ever tried Alka-Seltzer. I think that I have, but it's been a long time. That's a really good tip. So that is your go-to.
It is, and I slept well, and I just actually I'm feeling, I don't have any drainage this morning. It just dries every orifice up, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Well, that's so important, too. I went the last time, and so this is just like a month ago, I had the same thing coming on, and I went Mucinex. I went that route, and it was pretty good at treating the symptoms so that I could at least function, right? But does Alka-Seltzer does it? I guess it does that, and it allows you to rest if you're using the nighttime. But I think that you shouldn't be driving on it. You're not driving on it, are you?
No, I actually take it at night when I get in, but they do have a daytime one, but I usually don't have to take it. After I take the nighttime, it just knocks it out.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I did want to express my condolences to Biffle and his family, and to all the Biffle family, and also to Wrench's family. And I am so pro assisted suicide, and my son already knows this. He's my only family, and my husband. They know that if I ever got a terminal illness, that I'm just going to take it upon myself not to suffer, or they're not going to suffer either. So that's just the bottom line on my wishes, my last, will and testament.
Sure. Well, it's just like signing a DNR, and this was a very difficult thing when my father was getting to the point that we were planning end of life. So a do not resuscitate order is what the medical industry needs, so that they know what the wishes of the patient are. And so it's a very responsible thing that a lot of people do. And so I commend you for letting your family know exactly what your wishes are, because the uncertainty of knowing what to do, especially if it's your child, that's a very tough position to put your child in. And so I think you're doing the responsible parenting thing by just letting them know what your wishes are. That's awesome.
I agree totally, and like I said, I express my thoughts and prayers to Wrench and the Biffle family, and I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas. My birthday is January the 1st.
Hey, there you go. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a birthday
right.
it is.
Give it a try, Casey, and I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas. Be safe out on the roadways, and I just send everybody much love for the holidays.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you and yours. The Hot Shot in Dallas. Let's go ahead and jump out of the way for a quick timeout. If you want to get in, love to have you. 8888 Road Dog. Mike and $3. You guys are both coming up. Sit tight. This is third hour, a little gum flapping Friday for you, and we'll be right back.
Now for more conversation on the open road with KC Phillips. Join in at 8888 Road Dog.
One thing I love about the holidays is my wife puts out all of the different scented hand soaps. So whenever you're washing your hands, you don't get soap smell. You get sweet pine smell, or peppermint candy cane, or whatever. She has all these crazy things. The only thing that would be better is if it was bubblegum flavored dude wipes. I think that would be the best scent that I could get. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back into the conversation with you. It is the Gum Flapping Friday, and it's a Friday free-for-all right here on the open road. Mike in Massachusetts next up. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Casey, got a couple things for you. You remember the UMass fire with the 232 students that were, okay. So we got a final total as to the benefits that we gave the students. It was just short of $105,000.
Wow, that's amazing.
That was the grand. That was the grand total. Included debit cards, replacement of licenses, passports, medical equipment, clothing, stuff like that. It was just short of $105,000.
This is the American Red Cross that's providing the benefit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful work, man. Wonderful. Such a vital organization in our country and our society to help people who are experiencing loss and tragedy like what happened there. So, yeah, it's great to get that report, my friend.
Not a problem. And now I got a funny story for you. It was quite a while ago. We talked about the topic was food combinations, and my wife and I, we used to do a lot of stuff in the woods. We used to do a lot of hiking. We did canoeing, and we always take a picnic lunch. And that woman could never remember that I like my roast beef sandwich with mayonnaise. So on our 25th anniversary, I was on the road, and I called the florist, and I had 24 pink roses, 1 red rose sent to the house. And there were 2 cards in there. One was the sentimental card, and the second one said, kiddo, remember, mayonnaise on roast beef. And she never forgot it after that.
That is love right there, right?
Yeah, and then to top it off, my mother-in-law walks in the door of the house about, 3 hours later. My wife's all excited. She says, Mom, look what I got. And my mother-in-law says to her, oh, who gave you those? Your mother said that? You got boyfriends kicking around here I don't know about?
Yeah.
So, yeah, she liked mustard on her roast beef, and she could, in her defense.
Mustard?
Yeah, but in her defense, she had a lot of medical issues. She was on a lot of medication, so it did mess with her thoughts at times and her memory, but she never forgot about it after that card in the roses.
Yeah. I'm a horsey sauce guy with my roast beef. I like horseradish. I do like mustard on some crazy things. I like mustard on my chili, and I don't know if that is odd or what, but I do put mustard in my chili.
Well, she had a thing with Campbell's pork and beans.
Mm-hmm.
She used to put mayonnaise in that.
Yeah, see, that's kind of crazy in my mind. But, hey, that's the beauty of individuality, right? You can eat whatever you want, whatever floats your boat.
Right. It was, she said it made it more creamy. I never tried it. I didn't dare try it. It didn't look good to me. It looked like something you just threw up,
It's crazy.
Listen,
talking about this. Go ahead.
No, I was going to, go ahead.
I was recounting a dream that I had last night, and that I was trying to eat squid for the first time, but it was crazy. It tasted like celery to me, and the unconscious mind really plays tricks on you whenever you're sleeping, right? So I'm trying to eat a piece of squid at a restaurant, and I break off a piece, and it's like I'm eating celery. I thought this is the most. It was the most surprising difference in what I thought I was getting ready to experience.
Right. But listen, I just wanted to wish everyone, and you and your family, a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I've got to run. I'm in the middle of equipment here at the Red Cross, so I've got to run. But
Yeah,
I
Mike.
appreciate
Hey,
you
Merry
taking my
Christmas
call,
to
dude.
you. Yes, sir. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Thank you for calling. Yeah, dreams are weird. I'd like to see Sigmund Freud get a hold of that one. Why do you think you were wanting to eat squid, number one? And why do you think squid tastes like celery? I don't know. It's just, he reminded me of my dream. That's crazy. $3 is next. $3. Would you psychoanalyze that dream any kind of way?
Well, I was just going to say, the third time this year I had to take Rolaids before I started talking to you over the food combinations.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Kind of proud of you. You probably don't get many compliments, but you kept me entertained here this year at a pretty high level.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah, I don't get many compliments, and I'm okay with that, really.
Yeah. The topics are all good. I about fell out of my chair over the Kentucky Pride bucket blanket there, and
bucket sweater.
Yeah, bucket sweater. And then
are you a Kentucky guy?
No, I'm a Virginian.
Virginian,
and
Old Dominion.
Old Dominion. Yep. And I live in Michigan now.
Oh, stranger in a strange land.
Yeah, I haul milk for a living. Milk, raw milk, condensed milk, and cream. Right now I'm on my way back from Ohio, where I picked up cream, took it to the Breyers Ice Cream Factory, Sykeston, Missouri, and then heading back to Minster to grab one going somewhere else. But they do ship it all over. I spent most of the summer hauling milk from Michigan to Wisconsin, believe it or not.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right.
Yeah, you'd think it would be the other way around.
Yeah. Well, there's a rule to trucking, right? It doesn't really have to make sense to you. You know, you just get them their stuff where they want it.
Hey, if they're paying the bills, then yeah, let them ship it all over the dang place.
All over the place, exactly. And feel free to put it in my tanker back there, and I'll get her there for you.
What is condensed milk, if I may? Is it just boiled? Do they just boil the water out of it, or what is condensed milk?
They separate the water out of it.
Okay.
And when the fella said he was going to Batavia, from California, my guess is he's not hauling raw milk. He's hauling a condensed that's been pasteurized or something. And there's also rules on your tanker. You gotta, when they load you, you got 72 hours to get it there, right? Or your tank will expire.
Yeah.
So the food laws, right?
Right. Well, Justin R. on email says it could be almond milk or some special type of milk. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But I thought that was kind of a long trip. Unless you're a team, you know, you could run 22 hours a day, you know, straight through. Wouldn't be bad. You could probably get there. But if you're trying to do that solo, I don't know. It looked like a long ride to me.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
You know, I'd also I'd like to tell Wrench there that I'm feeling for him, and it's amazing how quickly you rolled in from your normal Johnny Carson type personality into grief counseling, and you did a nice job of that.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, well, you know, anybody who's been through it can jump into a support mode pretty quickly because it blindsides you, man. That's what I want to say. Grief can blindside you, and you could be having a great day, and all of a sudden you find yourself in the bottom of the bucket because you're grieving the loss of your loved ones, and so. Yeah, everybody needs to know they got support. Yep.
And lastly, I guess say a prayer that I never have to become $4, right? It was close last night over here in Illinois.
Ooh, yeah, man. Yeah, watch out for those guys.
Yep. So Have a good New Year and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, buddy. Thank you for the call. Quick time out. We'll be right back to you. I'm KC in Nashville on the Open Road.
Now back to Casey Phillips on the Open Road. Give him a call at 8888 Road Dog.
Let's get back to some gun flapping. Next up is going to be Mr. Bullwinkle. Bullwinkle, what's going on, man?
Not a lot. What was that guy's handle? Wrench that lost his mom.
Yep, Wrench lost his mom. Dude from southern Indiana.
Wrench, I went through something similar to this 2 years ago. My mom tried to get me to help her commit suicide.
Oh my gosh, man.
Her mind had gone pretty far gone at the time. She had COPD real bad. And I guess where she wasn't getting enough oxygen, it finally affected her. She thought she had done something terrible to my youngest brother, and she got that in her head, and she wanted to die on account of it. And I stopped her, and then I'd spend time at the hospital with her where they were observing her and all this stuff. I was caught on the road trying to get home to say my goodbyes. I already found out she was maybe getting ready to pass. I blowing a tire and sat for 6 hours waiting to get that damn thing fixed. I missed my chance of telling her my final goodbye. It is the Lord who heals all wounds, my friend. Lean in close to Him. And time and Him and the comforters that will come to you. And believe me, will come. You don't even have to ask. It will come. And you will be fine. It will take a while, but you will be fine. I was thinking this morning, talking to Tim Ridley, and Dispatch Dave there could tell you about it. I went through a little CB talk on the CB myself with some passed away friends of mine that I was thinking of. And this time of year, it always hits me about those lost friends and lost family members that I might see later on, and I hope to see them all. And that hope comes through Christ Jesus. There's no other way.
Thank you for that, Bullwinkle. Yeah. Crazy thing, and I think we find health and healing in a lot of different ways, whether it be faith, it could just be something that happens. And I remember the day that my mother died. I was in my vehicle living in Nashville, and I had the radio tuned to a sports talk station. And that morning, I got into my vehicle to go down to the grocery to grab something. And the radio came on, and in the town that in the Louisville area, that channel is a faith-based, like Christian music channel. And I just turned on my truck, and all of a sudden, the radio came on with Christian, uplifting filled music, and I was like, I don't know how it happened that way, but I took that as a sign that everything was going to be okay. And it's only through faith and belief that we can get there. So yeah, it was crazy.
Well, John 14:6, it says, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one goes to the Father but by me. And I keep that in mind. And John 3:16 and John 3:17. John 3:16 says that the Lord was sent into this world as God's one begotten Son, that the world may be saved. He did not come into the world to condemn the world, but through Him the world may be saved. For it is unbelief you condemn yourself through. No one else can condemn you.
Got a choice. Everybody's got that choice. Bullwinkle, thank you, man. I appreciate that, and we're going to keep on with it and grab a couple more folks before the end of the show today. But so sorry to hear about the loss of your mom, and thank you for your kind words to help Wrench in his time of loss. Let's go to Mr. Fix-It next up. Hey, Fix-It.
Hey there. Good morning, Casey.
Morning, sir.
Wow, it is absolutely beautiful here in Calgary, but it took us 18 hours from Vancouver to Banff, BC, which is only about 400 miles.
Wow.
And
because of snow and
heavy
ice?
Snow and snow and blizzards and accidents.
Ooh.
The worst one that we saw was there was a brake check at the Zokias coming down into Hope, and it was on the other side of the road. The accident was, and it looks like a truck was coming out of the brake check, and the lane there is dedicated to the trucks. And then when you get out of the brake check, right, you're actually in the third lane on the inside. And a pickup truck, had rear-ended the truck on the exit of the Zokias brake check, and it was absolutely, it had to have been a fatality. Like, I couldn't believe it. The road was closed on that side for at least 8 hours, as we know. Anyway, the only reason we never chained up on the two places is because they had not plowed the chain-up lanes. And I'm not going to chain up on the road with traffic going by. So I didn't chain up, but we just chugged up on it over the mountains both times. Never chained up. This truck is fantastic in the snow. But I tell you what this company did before I got hired by them. They went to the auctions and bought over 100 trucks that were 2022, 2023, very low mileage. And none of them have any of that, self-stopping stuff or auto steering or any of that other garbage.
Driver assist, driver assist features.
Yeah, that's why they did them. They still have about 50 of them they haven't put into service yet, and all they do is go there and move them a little bit and stuff, and they're going to put those trucks into service as the rest of these trucks. We got this truck and it had 212,000 miles on it, and it was 3 years old. I've been a 2022 International, and we have Kenworths as well from the same batch that they bought them at, and that was pretty brilliant. So I don't got any automated stuff on this thing at all.
Well, and one saving grace fixes it is if you can turn them off. So, hey man, thank you so much. I'm getting real close on time. I do want to squeeze one more in. An old friend, Rachel in South Carolina. Oh my gosh, where did you come from?
Well, I don't know.
Hey, Rachel, I only got about 30 seconds, but I wanted to wish you and yours Merry Christmas. Do you have gifts for the kids ready?
No. Does any parent have gifts ready for their kids when they're young?
That's why Santa is so important. He needs to bring the gifts.
Yeah, I was actually wanting to tell you, Merry Christmas, and I was kind of wanting to give you a little bit of an update of how things are, because this last year I acquainted 8 bull hauler trucks.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well, hey, I hate to cut you loose, Rachel, but I just wanted to get you right at the end, and we're plumb out of time. That is going to do it for us. Everybody on hold, so sorry I can't get to you. We're going to be back on the 29th. Everybody have a Merry Christmas, and we will definitely talk to you before the new year. Coming up next, Mark Willis, Road Dog Trucking News. You guys keep it shiny side up, dirty side down. We'll catch you on the next time on the open road.
You're listening to The Open Road with guest host Paul Gibson. And we want to hear from you. Give us a call at 8888 Road Dog. Let's ride on.
Good morning, and welcome to the Open Road. This is Paul from KC, filling in for KC. Mr. Buffett's back, so there's that. I'm Paul Gibson, and you may have heard me covering for Charles Gracie on Trucking Sense last week, but I am a huge fan of yours. I'm a huge fan of the driver, and I want to hear from you. This is your platform. This is your show. We want to give you a voice. So if at any point you agree, disagree, or if you just want to talk to me,
Call 8888-ROAD-DOG. That's 888-876-2336. Or hit the button if you're just listening on the SiriusXM app. So it's Christmas week, and so we thought we'd do a trucking naughty or nice list. So who's getting presents and who's getting a load of coal? So if you want to shout someone out and give them props, or you want to call out someone, you can feel free to call in, and we will talk about it. We'll break it down. The industry it's been pretty wild. 2026 has been a crazy, crazy year, and there's so many things that have gone on, whether it be from legislation, regardless about how you feel about this administration. And, like even last week, possibly taking weed down to a Schedule 3. What does that mean for the DOT? The big push on everything with the English language proficiency. Sure. A lot of people are like, well, and it seems wild, but I mean, that has technically always been a requirement to get your license. So it's interesting to see it actually getting enforced and the difference that made. So there's been a lot of changes. There's been so much crazy stuff that's happened that I thought it'd be cool if we broke down, different things about the industry and decided who should get presents, who should get a load of coal, who are the good guys, who are the bad guys. And if you want to talk about other drivers that you've experienced over the year, whether you had a great situation that happened or whether you've had a terrible one, we can talk about that too. So like if you ran into a driver and you were broke down and they actually helped you, so it had more of like that old school type vibe to it, where it was actually felt like community. Or if you just want to complain about people leaving piss jugs all over parking lots, we can do that too. Those people should definitely get coal. It's not that hard to, clean up after yourself and be a decent person, even though the bathroom situation is absolutely terrible. And at that point, you run into the situation where is that the government, the politicians, why is it so hard? Like the bathroom bill came back up again this year. There was a bill to guarantee drivers access. Why is that such a hard thing? It's been introduced into 3 different sessions of Congress, and it's never passed. Like, why is that so hard? Should they get coal because maybe they don't seem to get things done, and it doesn't seem like trucking is a priority? But then now you have this administration, and you have Duffy and everything, and now it seems like there's an even bigger push to actually enforce things and make things better. Is the government doing good? Should they get coal or should they get presents? I think it's one of those interesting things, a great place to start. I'm kind of a philosophical guy. I know I'm new around here. But so a good example is like Thomas Hobbes and John Locke, and the idea are people inherently good or are they inherently bad? It's an interesting concept. Hobbes thought that, people were inherently bad. They were selfish and they're driven by fear and a want for power. And John Locke thought that they were good and they were reasonable and they were free. I'm kind of the mindset that people can be good, but I think naturally we do gravitate sometimes towards the worst. But that's a testament to the good people, because being a good person is absolutely a choice. You wake up every day in that cab and you decide, I'm going to go do this. This industry might be wild at times. It might be, falling apart at the seams, especially if you've been around, if you're I've had my chauffeur license kind of guy. You've seen things get crazy. I mean, I've been in the industry since, I think, 2014 is when I started. So, I'm a little over a decade, and I popped in right before the ELD mandate. So even from my perspective, only having been around that amount of time, everything has completely changed. So much stuff is different just in the last 10 years that it really proves a testament to the people who actually wake up every day, get behind the wheel, and do what needs to be done to make sure that people get their stuff, even though you're underappreciated, I think undervalued, and sometimes, a lot of times, taken for granted and taken advantage of. I mean, a great example was COVID. You know, you should probably get Cole. All those people who were talking about how drivers are heroes all of a sudden because, you know, they managed to get their toilet paper, which was just obviously a result of them panic buying. But it was the idea that, like, now, like, where are they at? Oh, they're merging into that space that you're leaving in front of your truck in traffic so you don't rear end somebody with the 80,000 pounds that you're hauling because you can't stop on a dime. You guys work hard, and you are inherently good people just for the idea that you're doing what you're doing because it needs to be done. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some bad actors, and there are some drivers that are not great out there, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot to be able to do what you do. It takes a lot to be able to set aside all of that. Also, the amount of sacrifice that it takes of your time, especially if you're over the road. If you're an over-the-road driver, that is a life that is not built for everybody. Not everyone can do that job. It takes a certain kind of person. And so I would say with that, whether people are inherently good or inherently bad, being good is a choice. No one's ever said, oh, it's kind of hard to, it's hard to do the wrong thing. No, it's hard to make the right choice sometimes. You know, it's not always easy, and you guys are incredible. So I thought that would be a good starting point. But now, way more fun, way more lighthearted. Now that I've said my piece, you guys obviously should all get presents, even though you probably won't. It'll just be more people dumping on you, making bad regulations and poor choices that they didn't think about what it's like to actually be in the cab when they make them. Either way, let's talk about who should be on the naughty list and the nice list in trucking. And if you agree or disagree, or you just want to talk to me, or reply to what anyone said, feel free to call in at 8888 Road Dog, or the actual 888 Road Dog, or 888-876-2336, or push the button in the app. And shortly after this, we will be right back after this break.
Lost my shit.
We're back on the open road with guest host Paul Gibson. Get in on the conversation now at 8888 Road Dog.
Oh, hi. Good morning. So in this industry, everybody has two wolves, and they are both exhausted and just want to curl up by the fire. That's my thought on the nature of people in the truck. Most politicians, I think they're going to get a visit from Krampus rather than Santa.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, I love that. I love that thing. I mean, we're all tired. So, I mean, my day job, I work at a place that runs conferences to, like, bring brokers and carriers together, since they're inherently, like, they fight like cats and dogs, too. And so it's interesting that, like, the industry is in such a strain that, like, everybody isn't necessarily looking out for their own best interests, but they kind of almost have to, because it's almost like the whole thing is played against each other. You know, and a lot of that has to do with, you could argue, you know, the Motor Carrier Act of 1980 and everything kind of opening up, and now anybody can get an MC number, which is why we're seeing things like the stuff with fraud, you know. But at the same time, that, you know, creates a better free market and creates more opportunity. But it's interesting that it's put us all in a position to, like, want to fight each other. But I think we should. I think we should all get some hot cocoa, and I think we should all sit down and just have a good time.
Well, and my buddy just became an owner-operator, and he told me they're doing away with MC numbers.
No, they're not doing away with MC numbers. What it is like I haven't heard anything about them actually getting rid of them. But they are looking into how they like distribute them, because you basically, like, last I checked, unless that's new, and I haven't heard that.
Oh, and he's a hot shot. He's a hot shot, so that it may be something different with them specifically.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that might be different, because I know they're going to crack down on, like, they're looking at MC numbers, because that's part of the problem is they're so easy to get, and you even got like people selling them. Like, there have been people who've sold them on Facebook Marketplace, because freight fraud is way up a lot, and there's people who have sold their MC number to other people, and then those people don't change the information on the MC number, and then those people will go commit freight fraud, like, because the broker will be like, oh yeah, I can see you got this many da-da-da-da-da. It's just some guy who bought the number, and then they'll go basically, like, broker that load, and either double broker it, or in some rare occasions they'll, like, actually steal the freight.
Oof. Right. Yeah. No. And I got into the industry just after you did. I got into the industry in 2015, right after the ELD went into effect. So ELDs is all I've ever known, with the rare exception of where my ELD wasn't working and I had to do paper logs. Honestly, from my standpoint, even though I was trained in driver school how to do paper logs, I've never liked paper logs.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
that's interesting. That's an interesting take, because you hear about a lot of people who, are like, they talk about it because they did it before and they were on paper, and then now they do that. So that's interesting to hear from you, having only known logs, and then being like, I actually didn't like paper.
Yeah, well, and I mean, like, here's my take on the paper logs. Okay, I have been of the opinion that the ELDs have always saved me personally from having that one overbearing driver leader or dispatcher or whatever you want to call them that's like, hey, I know you got paper logs. We need this run here at this side. I know you're a little tired, but you could still drive, right?
Yeah, no, that is one thing that I have had people, like, one argument for them that I have definitely heard from some drivers, is especially when you get into, kind of those, like, fly-by-night companies. Even though they work, they have ways to work around stuff and do things. I've definitely heard it stops those people from at least not being able to try to run you, like, 4,000 miles a week or something ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, admittedly, I worked for one of those. Well, they called themselves a mom and pop, but it was a fly-by-night, like, for 9 years.
Yeah.
I was the only driver that they got frustrated at because I did everything exactly by the book. And the two brothers that own the place, they can't understand why their FMCSA number is like 20 or 30 or something. It's like it's high for a fleet of like 10 trucks. And they're like, we don't understand why we have a high CSA score. I'm like, because you got one driver that you pay under the table that you have just drive like 20 hours a day, and you just tell them, oh, just turn off your logbook. Or you have guys that you send over to a place and howl that the trailers there are rolling dumpster fires, and the only reason they don't get pulled in on the daily is because you send them to Detroit and they don't pass a weigh scale.
Right.
So, I mean, like, I've worked for one of those companies, and I've been that guy that said, yeah, I'm not touching that trailer yeah, I'm not going to break federal law for you because I don't like this job that much. And I mean, like, and the bathroom bill, like the same people that during COVID were telling us, "Oh, you truckers are our heroes," were the same people that were saying, "I'm sorry, we can't allow you into our bathroom."
Right. And they were also the same people that were like, "Hey, we're going to need you to line up outside this drive-thru."
Yeah, and then what I would be like, then where do you want me to go to the bathroom? Well, we have a porta pot out there. I'm like, lady, it's got 60-mile-an-hour winds out here, and it's -2 with the wind chill, and you want me to use that thin piece of plastic between me and those elements?
Yep. Well, not even to mention, not trying to get, too gross on the radio, but like the opposite.
Yeah.
If it's 105 degrees, last thing you want to do is sit down in a porta potty.
Oh, yeah.
Or hover. Hover in a porta potty.
Same deal, yeah. And then the smell in those things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, and that's just people using that's people using the bare necessities of the regulations that are put forth for them, saying they must put accommodations of some nature. I really wish that the regulations were more specific, saying you must provide the drivers access to a flushable indoor toilet.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, human decency on multiple levels. I mean, at the same time, not trying to get dark on a Monday morning, the week of Christmas, necessarily, but at the same time, there's multiple, non-for-profits that, if a driver were to happen to pass on the road, there's no regulation on the company to do anything to help that driver's body get home.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I mean, it's Monday, so if there's ever a day to get dark on the radio, it's Monday, because Monday.
Fair enough.
I mean, you might as well call me Garfield because I love lasagna and I hate Mondays. But yeah, no, I mean, like my company. I work for one of the, I think it is currently the biggest truck conglomeration in the United States. Because it used to just be the biggest company, but now it's like 5 or 6 companies that mutually own each other, and so that's a conglomerate, right?
Right. Yeah, that's how everything. That's how you avoid a monopoly.
yeah, that. But I mean, but say what you want about the Stevie Wonder Institute for Trucking, but I mean, we have some pretty darn good policies in place. Like, right now, they have given us all notice that, they guarantee us to be home for our Christmas, and in my case, Christmas Eve. They told me flat out, if we get you a load to Florida and we can't find you a load out of Florida, we're deadheading you back to Michigan from Florida for Christmas.
Nice.
So, I mean, and that's company-wide. So, that's, and I mean, I myself am pagan, so today is my holiday, Yau Saturnalia, by the way, to all the other hippie-happy pagan people out there. And Merry Christmas to all the to all the Christian folk out there, and Hanukkah to the Jewish folk. And there's other holidays, but I mean, still, I love that policy is there for the people that celebrate the holiday. And I mean, but I just think that this industry would be a little easier if some more common sense regulations were put in. And one of the good actors that I'd really like to see available for truckers that want to partake in that in the U.S. is there's a place up in British Columbia or Saskatchewan, Canada, I forget which, but they're called Edison Motors, and they are producing diesel-electric hybrid trucks.
That's nice.
And they're built to custom for their customers. Like, basically, they build them to fit your needs as the driver. But yeah, it's an electric drivetrain with a battery bank and a highly efficient Caterpillar diesel generator put in place of the engine, and it's set up to run optimized when it turns on, and it's on demand. It kicks on when the battery bank starts to run low. When the battery banks are where they need to be, it kicks off. And I think that's a really great option. That would be a good compromise between the electric mandate.
Because I feel like with the EVs and stuff like that, people have gotten so excited about, advancing their technology and what they can put out, that it's nice to hear about somebody actually keeping the driver in mind when developing something like that. Not saying that all those companies haven't, but there have definitely been some that have been more focused on getting out an EV that works than they have actually thinking about what that looks like on the road and what it's like to be in. But we do have to go to a break, man. So thank you so much for calling in.
Yep, you have a great holiday, son.
You too. All right, well, it's Paul from KC filling in for Casey Phillips on the open road. If you agree, you disagree with anything you hear, or you just want to talk to me, feel free to call 888-8-ROAD-DOG. That's 888-876-2336. And you're listening to the open road. We'll be back on our Who Should Get Coal, Who Should Get Presents, Trucking Naughty or Nice list. Call in, sound out, and we'll hear from you.
Whiskey bottles and brand new cars. Oak tree, you're in my way. There's too much coke and too much smoke. Look what's going on inside.
And now we're back on the open road with guest host Paul Gibson. Join us as we talk trucking at 8888 Road Dog. We can't wait to hear from you.
Hey, this is Paul from KC filling in for Casey Phillips on the open road. So if you're calling in and this voice doesn't sound familiar, that's why. But we're going over the naughty nice list for trucking. Who should get coal? Who should get presents? And looking at what the industry looks like. And we'd love to hear from you and get the driver perspective on what sucks out there and what's awesome. And just, this is your platform. So if you want to trash talk, you definitely can. And, at the same time, in the holiday spirit, if you want to give a shout out, if you want to praise somebody, lift them up, you are more than welcome. Join us at 8888 Road Dog. That's 888-876-2336. Or if you have to be on the Sirius app, you just hit the button and you can call in. It'd be great. We'd love to hear from you. But yeah, so we're just hanging out. It's a Monday morning. It's the Monday before Christmas. Man, so I had most of my Christmas shopping done early, but I did have to go out this weekend and grab some stuff from the store. And what's wild is the amount of traffic, the amount of people out there buying stuff last second, and being frustrated that they can't find things and stuff like that. And then I actually heard somebody talk about how they were frustrated that the store couldn't keep stuff in stock. And it did remind me, we were talking with our last caller kind of about, the whole toilet paper thing that happened. It's crazy that people don't think about the fact that, it's not the driver's fault. It's not the supply chain's fault that stuff isn't there. It's that these people wait till the last second and they put pressure on it. And that's crazy. It's crazy that, they take all of that and they put it on you guys, essentially the supply chain or the store for not ordering enough and stuff like that. And it's kind of an interesting responsibility, panic buying, late thing. Same thing with people like Amazon and FedEx and stuff. A lot of people have had late packages, and it's interesting that people get frustrated at the supply chain when ultimately it's just a large group of people who procrastinated and did put pressure on those systems. It's the same thing with the panic buying of toilet paper. You know, everybody's like, oh, but the interesting thing then is because I feel like people were uncertain of the future and whether or not how things were going to work out, that all those people were like, oh, truck drivers are heroes. It's like, oh, when all this stuff catches up, I guess because maybe there's a certain deadline and a certain date. After Christmas, when all that stuff does manage to get there because everybody rushed and panicked, bought, nobody's praising truck drivers as heroes, you know, except for maybe when they get their package just in time after procrastinating, you know, then you saved Christmas. But the interesting thing is that truck drivers, you guys all make Christmas possible. I'm sure there's some of you out there that are listening to this that are actually out there with gifts that you're hauling in your trailer that are going to end up at an end destination that are going to make some kid's morning absolutely wonderful. And that's got to be a good feeling. I'd be interested to know if anybody does know if they are hauling anything like that. You know, if we got any like Amazon drivers or FedEx drivers or anything like that. But that's got to feel good to be able to be hauling things that you know are going to make somebody's day when they open it. Like, not only do drivers, you guys, not only do you make the infrastructure happen, not only do you make society function, because if you guys stop, you know, if you look at all the stats and things like that, there'd be a lot of dead people in 3 days, especially when it comes to like medical supplies and stuff like that. It's also interesting that there are some of you that have the privilege of actually hauling joy, of actually carrying something to someone that can help actually make like a core memory for a child that they will remember for the rest of their life. You're actually hauling that in the back of your trailer. Or the food for a dinner where somebody proposes. You know, it's one of those interesting things being a truck driver with all of the stuff that we talk about all the time that's, you know, rough, the struggles on the road and stuff like that. I will say it's one of the only jobs where, you know, if you're an architect and you want to see your work when you're done, you got to go look at that building that you built. You know, if you're an artist, you go look at what you painted. The cool thing about being a truck driver, one of the great things is that you can look around at anything and know that basically, like, there's a chance that you hauled that or another truck driver hauled that. You can look at anything because if it's a building, the materials that were there, it was built by a truck driver. The road that you're driving on, like, someone probably, you know, carried a lot of that. And then, you know, or even the like specialized guys out there carrying the equipment to make it happen, you know, the heavy equipment. It's one of those jobs where you can literally look anywhere at anything and know that a truck driver had been involved in building that. And that's one of the very few jobs where you can say people who do your job, you know, made that or provided that for society. And that's pretty crazy. The idea that there are kids out there that, like, that's you're hauling memories that will last with some of these kids forever. You know, or even better, if you're doing something for like a charity or something like that, or toys that are being donated, you're making Christmas happen for kids who, like, weren't going to get a Christmas. You know, all of these things that are possible with these holidays wouldn't be possible without you guys. So that's why we're super appreciative. We're here. It's a platform. If you want to call in at 8888 Road Dog, 888-876-2336, we would love to hear what you have to say about who should be getting presents and who should be getting coal and trucking. You know, obviously you guys, gold star, top of the tree, but like, who needs to be called out? Who's been naughty this year, and who's been great? You know, it doesn't even have to be a person or a group. It could be things like maintenance. What's your maintenance experience been like this year? Have you had several breakdowns? You know, even a shout out to, in that case, Duffy for starting to kind of push back on the whole regen thing and raising the speed when you're up for that. Or, you know, did you have a bad experience or a positive experience with a recruiter? Do you love the owner of your company? Did they do something way out of there? Do you want to go like fight a broker? Is your dispatcher the worst person in the world? You know, I mean, dispatchers are the gateway between drivers and their paycheck. So if you have anything to say about, you know, anything, positive or negative, and whether or not there should be coal or presence, if you agree, disagree, or you just want to talk to me, once again, we're about to go to break. So call at 8888-ROAD-DOG, 888-876-2336, and we want to hear from you.
We're back on the open road. With KC out, PG is in. Now dial up 8888-ROAD-DOG and make yourself part of the open road mafia with guest host Paul Gibson.
What's up? It's Paul from KC filling in for KC here on the open road. And so we've, you know, I've given drivers, you know, your props. You know, your flowers, because you're fantastic, and you know you're necessary. The Western civilization would fall apart without you. Like I say all the time, without without veterans, there'd be no America. But without truck drivers, there would be no veterans, or there would be no America to defend. And so, with that, now let's start going down the list of people that I think are naughty. And if you agree with me or disagree with me, or you just want to talk to me, feel free to call in 8888-ROAD-DOG, 888-876-2336. All right, so let's start. Trucking companies, right? Trucking companies, they're your employer, they're necessary, right? And so with that, though, one thing that I think kind of puts them on the naughty list, because part of being naughty or nice is accountability. And trucking companies, they don't seem to always be held accountable. Sure, you know, nuclear verdicts and stuff like that affect them, but a lot of time, a lot of that onus falls on the driver. Regulations, I mean, you look at 1980, you know, deregulation. They call it deregulation. You hear a lot of drivers talk about it, and they call it the Motor Carrier Act of 1980, because really what a lot of it did was it deregulated the carrier, and it put it on the driver. You know, and so, you know, it's always like, oh, hey, you know, English language proficiency, right? That's, you know, these drivers, they need to be able to speak English. Well, what about the carriers who hired them? What about the carriers who brought them in to drive? You know, what does that look like? What are we going to do with that? You know, all of your violations, these drivers, you know, who have these trucks who keep getting put out of service because they're falling apart. What do we do, you know, other than their safety score? What do we do with them? You know, the driver's the one who gets the ticket. It goes on their CDL, and it's like, what do they get? You know, but at the same time, there are companies out there doing it right. If you got a company that's on the nice list, we'd love to hear about it. But all in all, when it comes to like regulatory stuff, like, kind of sucks. So I'm kind of companies that's the given. I'd kind of put them in the middle. Brokers. There are good brokers, there are bad brokers, but also at the same time with brokers, they're the middleman. They've been built to be the middleman. They only exist because anybody can get an MC number now. And so there's so many companies that they can't all just have contract freight, you know, and then they take a percentage. They're a middleman. So it's kind of one of those things. It's like, you can be a good broker, but like that whole concept is part of what's happened where the industry has gotten today. It's not that they're inherently bad, but their existence kind of rough. And a lot of them, there's a lot of big carrier company or brokerage companies, like a lot of big brokerages that like really do take advantage of that and take advantage of the driver. And that's part of the things that help run down low rates, and there are, like I said, good ones out there. There's always exceptions to the rule, but just inherently by what it is, that's it's kind of a rough concept. Now you want to talk about companies and whether or not they're taking responsibility for things or whether regulation gets pointed at them. You don't ever really hear much about the shippers and receivers either. It's almost like stuff rolls downhill and they're far enough up the hill that like when politicians do decide to do something to regulate or enforce regulation, they don't really quite get there. It's been interesting to hear Sean Duffy say that he's going to look into it and actually start taking like a more even-keeled approach. So I'd like to see, what that looks like. But it's like shippers don't ever really get caught. So it's like, are shippers bad? I mean, at the same time, they're shippers and receivers. They're the ones that, are putting up the signs that, oh, you can't go to the bathroom here. Not my pants, not my problem. And then you're stuck. There's even some that won't let you get out of the cab. There's some that, just provide porta potties. There's some that say tough luck. And it's like, how can you not give people bathroom access? Like that's how you get piss jugs. Just straight up. That's how you get piss jugs. That's another conversation. Truck stops. Are they bad? Are they good? Paid parking, they're necessary. But like, what is your experience with truck stops this year? Like, would you say that they're on the naughty list or the nice list? Do you think that they're just frustrated that like they essentially have to go through you to get to your money? Or do you think that like they actually care? Like, what truck stops do you go to and you actually feel like you're welcome? Like, one of my favorite is Sapporo's. Sapporo's has the best bathrooms. Oh my God, they have the best bathrooms. Even just as, somebody like their stall doors go all the way to the floor. No cracks, no anything. A complete door all the way to the floor. And I don't know if you're into it, if you've ever tried one or you're weirded out by them, but they have bidets. Those are pretty solid. And they are the cleanest bathrooms I think I've ever been in. They say that it's mom approved on all of it, and I'm like, some of those bathrooms, every time I've been into it, it almost looks like you could just eat off the floor, which is gross, but I mean, you probably could. Another thing, so I come from, a little bit about me, I guess. I started out in the industry as a driver recruiter. So my job was to talk to drivers on the phone and try to convince them to come work for the company that I worked at, which is actually how I fell in love with drivers and talked to them. And then that went on to be my whole career in different ways, till where I'm here now. But recruiters, I understood, like I was a recruiting marketing manager for a few years, and I would always answer the phone, and I would basically say like, this is the biggest rat in the sewer, because like recruiters sometimes they're not entirely honest. Sometimes they are more focused on that orientation list and getting you in there, and they get stuck with a bait and switch. But then sometimes they're great. Sometimes you get a good one, and I'd like to think I was a good one. Made some lifelong friends. But it's interesting when you get a hold of a recruiter and then sometimes you talk to them and they say the wackiest stuff. And, like I've heard recruiters try to like answer questions about equipment, and it sounds like they're basically like trying to make up stuff. Like they're like, oh yeah, the flux capacitor is, da, da, da. And it's like, what are you talking about? You don't know anything about this truck. Like, just say that. Just go find out. If you're a good recruiter, you're going to know your stuff. And if you don't know your stuff, you're going to admit that you don't know. So I don't know. Have you had any bad experiences with any recruiters that you think are solid, or have you had some bad? What is your worst recruiting experience? Like that you've had with a recruiter that didn't work out, or that you knew the second you got on the phone, it was BS. Because there's good and bad, and there's different companies that handle that way, going back to companies. it's pretty wild the way that can go. And there's also lobby groups. You know, you have different organizations and whatnot. And I think one interesting one to cover for Christmas, and I would be interested to hear your take on it, is the ATA. The ATA. So there's been this driver shortage narrative for years, right? And they've been a big proponent of that. They've been, you know, one of the ones which is also, you know, what's kind of lowered the barrier to entry with people coming into the industry and different things. And this year, it seems like they've changed their narrative recently. And it could be the new administration and who they're actually giving their ear to, who they agree with. But they've changed their narrative to it's a lack of quality drivers, right? So if it's a lack of quality drivers, you know, that still takes the onus off the company. You know, I personally think it's a lack of quality jobs. I think the jobs aren't competitive, but to say it's a lack of quality drivers versus just outright saying there's a driver shortage, that's a step in the right direction. And so for that, do they get off the naughty list? Do they get presents? I don't know. I'm still kind of torn. It'd be a lot easier if like Santa had like a middle ground. If there was like a Christmas purgatory, you know, like what would that look like if there was a Christmas purgatory between getting a gift and getting coal? What does that look like? Yeah, I don't know, but I think that's I'll give the ATA flowers for that, but I'm going to go ahead and say that they get coal. So to kind of go back, companies, I'm gonna lean coal. I'm gonna lean barely on the side of coal. Brokers, I'm also gonna lean barely on the side of coal. Shippers, I'm gonna go coal. Receivers, I would say coal. Dispatchers, I think it just depends on if you have a good dispatcher or not. I think that's case by case. I think that depends on your dispatcher. In recruiters, it's the same thing. And so, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where the industry is so wild and in such a weird place that, like, the last 5 years, you know, it was really big in 2020. Everything blew up. Everyone thought they could be an owner operator, and then, you know, things got leveled out and got back in 23, and now it's been better next quarter for the last 3 years, but it still hasn't. So I'd be interested to hear your take. If you want, you can call me at 888-ROAD-DOG or 888-876-2333. I'm Paul Gibson. If you agree with me, if you disagree, or you just want to talk to me, feel free to give us a call. We'd love to hear who you think should be on the Christmas nice list or naughty list for trucking.
Time to get on the open road with guest host Paul Gibson. If you've got something to say, call us at 8888-ROAD-DOG and let your voice be heard.
Hey, it's Paul Gibson from KC, filling in for Casey on the open road. We're going over the trucking naughty or nice list, so you let us know who you think is who's naughty and who's nice, who should get coal, who should get presents, etc. So if you agree, disagree, or you just want to talk to me, call 8888-ROAD-DOG or 888-876-2336. And right now, we've got Coconut on the line from KC. How's it going, Coconut?
Okay. How about y'all?
Oh, doing good. You know, I'm a Midwest dad, so, you know, it's the wind that'll get you.
Yeah, I just came down from Chicago, and it was cold as witch's titty over there.
Yep. Oh,
but she's talking about
from there on that Thanksgiving weekend when it snowed out of nowhere, like way more than everybody thought.
Yeah. I'd come out of Michigan, went to Chicago, but now I'm down in Kansas City. You know, you talk about naughty and nice. First off, I want to give props, you know, and put them on the nice list. There's the company I'm working for now. Can I say the name?
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah, well, Keep Trucking out of Chicago. I'm going to tell you, it's probably one of the best companies I've worked for. I've been out here for about 34 years, something like that. And one of the best companies I've worked for. The owner, props on him. He should have got rid of me a long time ago, but he's patient. He's kind. You know, my wife said the same thing. Yeah, I don't know how you still got that job. I got the job because I got a good boss and understanding. You know that people mess up. You know, and my dispatcher Igor, awesome dude, man, awesome. Keeps me rolling. Always don't push me. You know, he don't push me. He don't send me places I don't want to go. He always talks to me. You know, gets as much information on the load as possible. And you know, you got to take the good with the bad. You know, because you know, not everything. It's definitely not going to be peaches and cream out here all the time. You know.
Oh, for sure. You know, if trucking were all fun and everything was perfect, and it was just a good time, you'd pay to do it, not get paid to do it. For sure.
That's right. That's right. Because it can definitely be trying. You know. Now, you got to take the good. You know, I guess I'll just simplify it real easy. You know, I learned a long damn time ago that you know, life is what you make of. You know, if you're out looking for the bad stuff, you're gonna find it. If you're out looking for horrible people, you're gonna find it. You're out looking for you know, whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find it. So you know, sure. I just make it a I make it a habit for myself to look for the good, and if I can't find the good in some place, then I just stay the hell away from that place, and I never go back. You know, it's pretty simple there. But those are very far and few between. You know, people think that things happen intentionally, that these people do things intentionally, and I was one of those people that was really hard in thinking people are doing it intentionally. You know. I just really don't think that people are out here cutting you off intentionally. You know.
No.
Yeah, they're cutting you off and they're being stupid. But I just you know, 99% of the time that somebody cuts you off, it's not intentional. They're just not paying the freaking attention. You know.
I would actually say I agree with that 100%. I think the opposite is true. I kind of talked about it at the top of the show, but I think it's the idea that, like, yeah, you know, some people suck, some people are selfish, some people do terrible stuff, but there are good people, and there are so many good people in any of these categories. You know, whether you say, like, you know, coal or presence or anything like that, there are good people that do those things. But I think there's a level of intentionality that's required to do good. Like, making the right choice is hard. Doing the right thing isn't always easy. You know, it's easy to do the wrong thing out of selfishness.
That is true.
I think there's an intentionality
that is absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
It's in human nature.
Being jerks on purpose.
You know,
right?
Yeah, it's in human nature to be mean. It's easier to be mean than it is to be nice. You know, but if you look at it, if you look at that, why is it easier to be mean than it is to be nice? Because people take things, and like I was saying, it depends on what you want to go look at. You know, it's easier to be mean because people make it hard to be nice, and it just depends on how you're looking at what they're doing. Are they doing it intentionally? Are they just screwing up? You know, what is it? And I've just come to the thing, look, I don't take things personal. Why? Because I don't do anything personally, and it's just, and hey, it might be a fantasy, but it makes my day easier when I'm not taking things personally. This is a job out here. And I don't get me wrong. Now, my wife tells me I got road rage. I told her it's not road rage. Because I don't have road rage because I don't get out of my truck. And I don't be going cut people off and stuff. I don't do that. Will I cuss them out? You're darn right I'll cuss them out. I'm in my cab, and if they were in my cab, their ears would be burning because it's going off. But I'm not.
You're not getting out of your truck with a tire wrench. You're just saying something. So you don't have road rage. You just get road frustrated sometimes.
What I call it cab rage. I call it cab rage because I leave it all right here in the cab because I don't need. You don't know what that next person's going through, and I don't want to be part of. I don't want to be part of making them have a bad day. That's just the way I live, and so that's how I look at things. And instead of adding to somebody's bad day, how about give them part of your good day?
Or even worst case scenario, be neutral.
That's just me. Yeah. And now truck stops, truck stops are out here, because I was hearing you say about, good and bad truck stops. Truck stops aren't out here to make things easier on anybody. They're really not. They're in it for the money. It's all about the money. My boss isn't doing what he's doing and treats his employees as good as he does because he loves them. No, he's in it for the money. It's about the money, and he knows that if he treats his people well, they'll take care of his equipment. They'll have pride in their work, and they'll make him more money. And a lot of drivers think, no, they got to kiss my ass. I'm sorry. They got to suck up to me. They got to make me happy. Well, it's a 50-50 thing. The company can't make no money if I don't make no money. I can't make no money if the company don't make no money.
But I think that kind of goes back to the being good is intentional. There's an intentionality to that. Sure, we all do it. We all do it for money. You wouldn't be in that truck for free. You wouldn't drive for free.
That's right.
But at the same time, you love what you do, and you do it right.
Oh yeah.
You're not just out here, running outlaw or not taking care of your truck or anything like that. You actually take some pride in it. You understand the importance of what you do, so you do it with intentionality instead of just doing it. And that's the difference between a good company. Your boss understands. Sure, I run this company. This is a business. We make money here. But it's he does it with intention, so he treats you well because he knows that that'll make you have a good time and help you do better. But there's a lot of people who are just get in the truck, do what I told you, I'll pay you.
Yeah, if you take care of your equipment, and you're doing what you're supposed to do, then you'll make more money. But if you're just out here running around and not doing your free trips and running illegally, and now, mind you, back when I first started, now that's been many years ago, this was before CDLs came out, I wouldn't even run a logbook. And I was running all kinds of crazy, but I was young and dumb, and I was, I was running. I run until I rolled that truck over, and when I rolled that truck over, my eyes opened up, and I was like, I guess I can't be running, 100 hours a week. I wasn't running no logbook. Well, they say, well, if you don't run a logbook, you get caught, you're going to get a ticket. Yeah, you're right. You're going to get a ticket, and you're going to get 12 hours off, or 10 hours off, whatever it is. Okay, which you're always going to need. The way I was running, you always needed 12 hours off or 10 hours off, whatever it was. And the logbook, running without a logbook was only $100 fine. But if you run a logbook, then you got the $100 fine. If it's messed up, then you got $150 for every violation that's in the logbook. So which was cheaper? It was cheaper to run without a log. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, because no matter what, you're going to get the time off. You're going to be red tagged and you're going to be sitting there. But you always needed that time, so, you know, it didn't really matter. So, which was cheaper? Run without a logbook. Pay the $100 fine and take your time off. You're good to go. You know, that's how I thought back then. That's not how I think now. I enjoy what I do the way I do it now. A lot of people don't like these ELDs. It's just, I mean, look, I run legal. You know, I run legal. I run my hours just like I can. You know, when the company wants, they say, well, we can give you a couple more hours. You know, well, I'll take a couple more hours if you can do it legally. No problem. I'll take a couple more hours. But if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it, and I'm not going to do it. You know. They say, well, if the company's making me do this, the company can't make you do anything. You're the one that's got to drive that truck. You know, and if they're going to get rid of you for refusing to be unsafe, well, then go look for another job. That's me.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, that's the beauty of a CDL. If you have that, you'll always have a job as long as you protect it. You know, you are the captain of the ship, as everybody always says, and it's one of those things. It's like if you don't protect your CDL won't protect your employment. That's the ticket. And if you just let somebody walk all over it, then yeah, it's going to ruin your career, and you're going to be stuck, and you're either going to be working for terrible people who don't have intentionality, or you're going to be out of a job. But we do have to go to another break, so I'm going to have to let you go. And it's been real nice talking to you, man. All right, well, so we are going over the Trucking Naughty or Nice list. So if you've got somebody that you want to shout out and give props to, or if you have something that's really just ruined your year and you want to talk about it, whether you agree, disagree, or just want to talk to me, call 888-8-ROAD-DOG. The full number is 888-876-2336. This is Paul Gibson, and we'll be right back.
Night skies finish last. You're running out of gas.
Naughty list is technology, safety technology. I mean, that stuff's got kind of wild. I feel like ELDs went in and around the same time. You know, you have all your safety braking. You know, especially this time of year, you get ice over the sensor, and then you know a lot of trucks will just stop. You know, or you're like driving, and then all of a sudden it just starts beeping at you. You know, that's an insane thing to have happen. It's like you're supposed to be in control of the truck, but there's more and more things that kind of almost take away your control in situations. Now, do I think that they work? Yes. Are they getting better? Yes. And there's definitely instances where it's great, but it's also like, at what point do you keep adding things to the truck to where you do almost get to a point of like, you know, autonomous vehicles? You know, I mean, I guess that is where we're headed. But it's been interesting to watch those different steps on the way. But I think another big one is cameras, inward facing cameras. I am all about dash cams. I think dash cams are great. I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch dash cam footage, you know, just for the fun of it, because there's some wild stuff that happens. You know, the road is a very unpredictable place, but inward facing cameras have always just felt weird to me. I don't know. It just feels like at that point, I mean, I think one of my big questions is, you know, every time that I've talked to like a rep or somebody from a lot of these companies, they say like, oh, you know, it only records like the event. And I'm like, oh, okay. So once it senses something, and they're like, yeah, it'll give you 30 seconds before and 30 seconds after. And I'm like, whoa. That is wild that technology has psychic capabilities, right? Like if it's an inward facing camera, but you can give me 30 seconds before the event and after the event, but it's not continuously recording, how do you how do you know that the event was going to happen to give me the 30 seconds before? That's never lined up for me. And so ever since then, I've always just kind of been like, I've seen it work out for some people, and totally save them, especially because, being a truck driver in a traffic situation is one of the only times in America where you're definitely going to be guilty until proven innocent half the time. But inward facing cameras, it's like, it feels like an invasion of privacy. That I don't know that there is a better way to do it other than maybe you, the driver, have control over the camera, or like an SD card situation, instead of having like wireless, have it transmit to some sort of, whoever the manufacturer is, and have them deliver it to your safety department. Maybe you have like an SD card that goes in there and you have control over it. That would make more sense to me, maybe make me a little bit more comfortable, because then you could turn it off and turn it on and that it's off or on, or like a lot of people who just, will hang their hat on the inward facing camera whenever they're stopped. But the fact that really started getting pushed always made me uncomfortable. I didn't like that. I mean, it's already bad enough that like you're sleeping in the cab. The bunk isn't huge. It's not like a studio apartment even or anything like that. So to have a camera that can see most of it, I mean, I guess you can pull the curtain, but it's still wild, especially if there's audio, because even if your curtain's pulled, but you're having like a private conversation with your family, clearly they have to be able to pull it if they can pull the 30 minutes before and after the accident. I would love for someone to disagree with me and explain to me how it works in a different way, that maybe I'm not seeing or that I've not been made aware of. But inward-facing cameras have always just kind of irked me on that one, And then we've talked about ELDs already. There's just, I don't know. And I think when it comes to technology, I think the other big thing is communication. I mean, cell phones like that. I think that's done a lot for all of us. In a lot of negative and positive ways. Like, it's great that you can get a hold of more people wherever you're at. Kind of like Paul in Oklahoma called in. He was talking about there's a million ways to communicate with people now, and that's great. You don't get stranded, and you're not looking for a payphone. But at the same time, even in outside of the truck, it's like it's created a sense of isolationism where people don't communicate as much. Which, being a truck driver, I mean, you're already stuck in that cab. Like, if something pisses you off or you've got a problem, like, that happens on your 10, you wake up to it, well, good luck. You've got at least another 11 hours to just sit there and think about it, and there's nothing you can do. So it's like, with phones and with social media and stuff like that, there's this like lack of connection to the people around you. You can be selective with who you're actually connected to. Whereas, back in the days of the CB, like, you're communicating with the people around you, the people in range. You're actually meeting other people. You are getting out of your comfort zone. And then on top of that, there's the safety stuff with like, hey, there's a crash ahead. If you're driving, you shouldn't be Googling, like traffic and accidents, while GPS shows up. But like, some of those people, I think a lot of these pileups could be that have happened in the past few years that have gotten really bad, could possibly be prevented by people getting back to the CB. And that's drivers looking out for each other on the road. But a lot of people, I've even heard that there's some companies that actually discourage drivers from using the CBs. I've heard that recently. I've not actually heard it myself, but I had a caller when I was on Trekking Sense the other day actually tell me that, which is crazy work. But back to social media and all of that, it almost feels like it exacerbates the isolationism that comes with being on the road, because you're not even interacting with the people that you used to run into, and you're just interacting selectively with the people that you need to interact with, and then the people who you choose to interact with. And I think that even in regular day-to-day life, I think that that's there's so many people now that like don't actually get to know their neighbors because they don't have to, because you have open communication with whoever you want to communicate to. You don't have to, like, a lot of people don't know their neighbors. They don't have a sense of community anymore. People don't work together, and that's really sad to see. And I think that's a lot of problems with what, you know, we're running into, is that people don't have that sense. They don't have those people that they can turn to. They don't have any skin in the game to look out for each other. And that's kind of sad around the holidays. So I would definitely put that on the naughty list. Yep. And I think another thing that I will, you know, I was going to hold off on this a little bit because it's going to get into a big rant, and it'll definitely probably cut into the next part, is insurance companies. I think insurance companies are pretty close to the top of the naughty list. You know, because when you think about it, you think about all the things in trucking that you might see that are wrong. And in order to fix it, you've got to fix like 5 other things. You can rabbit hole through all of it, all you want. And the interesting part is once you get, you know, you go from the driver to the broker, to the carrier, to the customer, you know, to the shipper receiver, and then eventually you get up to lobby groups and you get up to the government. But in there is like insurance. So, you know, a lot of these lobby groups are pushing for different things because insurance companies will benefit their people in those organizations by implementing certain things, you know. And then on top of that, like, you know, look at a few years back where they were wanting to like raise the minimum insurance that companies had to carry. Like they, you know, and that's what, I mean, most things, that's even going on right now with health insurance and other health insurance, you know, and car insurance, right? All of that. It's getting worse, but like the insurance companies have such an influence on all of these things. Even when it comes to like hiring drivers for companies as a recruiter, there's a lot of different things that can make or break a driver as, you know, someone who's applied to a company based on, will we get charged more by the insurance company? Will insurance premiums go up if we bring this person on? Is this person a risk to get a certain violation that will increase our insurance? You know, which comes down to the bottom line. And it's wild what they play into the role of your experience as a driver. And it's a lot of backroomy, you know, top level stuff, but it all trickles down. And I would definitely say naughty lists for sure. But we're going to cut to another break. If you want to call in at 8888 Road Dog, the phone number is also 88876-2336. And we would love to hear from you. And you're listening to The Open Road with Paul Gibson.
To put out my favorite part, I am dying in the way. Take a look at our towers, never trust in the lies. Sipping living in the booze, on that belly sings the blues. All pissed up on with the rain, keep on tripping away. Scratchy edge, skinned up knees and soft lips. I'll breathe the life, fix paper life, and when you end up with the light, let go, it's hard holding on. One more trip and I'll be gone. So keep your head up, keep it on, just a whisper of your own. Take a breath and make it big. It's the last you'll ever get. We'll break your leg with time to release. It's the last you'll ever choose.
We're back on the open road.
And just get to be a voice for you guys and let you share your voices and talk to us about, you know, what's bothering you, what's going on, because we basically like we're not on the road. You're on the road. You are the eyes. You know, people can come on and talk about whatever they want. They can come say all these things, but realistically, like, it's your experience. It's your experience out there as a driver. And on paper, what it looks like on paper and what it looks like in real life is completely different. You know, I'm a huge advocate of anybody who works at a trucking company should have to spend at least 2 weeks on the road. I've been on the road a lot, riding along with drivers, you know, making documentaries and videos and different things, just to try to capture as much of the experience as I possibly can. But I remember, you know, knowing a lot about it, you know, talking to hundreds of drivers, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a thing. You know, I don't think, man, I leaving Kansas City headed to Washington on the first time I ever rode along in a truck. I remember getting to by the time I was in Topeka, I was like, oh, this is way more, and there's so much to this than I thought there was. And I mean, I was only like a little over an hour and a half, you know, from home, and it was already different than, you know, something I thought I knew like the back of my hand. You know, so I'm going to tell you that a lot of people don't understand because they've never experienced it. You have. And that's what this platform is for, is to give you guys a voice so you can be heard, you know, while you're hearing us. and that's, I just want to say, with all of this, you know, this time of year is different. It's, I don't know. This Christmas does kind of feel different, you know, with the economy and everything. It feels a little rushed, and it feels a little bit, I don't know. It doesn't feel as Christmassy as Christmas used to feel. And that's sad. But I think a part of it's, you know, the world we live in. And I don't think a lot of people give people their flowers, the credit that they deserve. They don't appreciate one another as much. And to be able to come on here and appreciate drivers and appreciate what you do, not just a year where, you know, dispatch is eating burgers with the maintenance guys eating hot dogs, you know, out in the garage where none of the drivers can actually make it back to the terminal because they're all out there working, you know, driver appreciation week. It's nice to actually be able to come to you and show you appreciation and tell you how much we appreciate you. You know, I got to do a roundtable last week with all the hosts on the channel, and that was kind of the big theme, was just like, road dog trucking is yours. It wouldn't be anything without the drivers, and you guys are out there every day. You're rolling, and people are driving past you. They're cutting you off. You know, you got your dispatcher telling you, oh, it's just 2 inches on the map, you could make it, you know, but then you're fighting like 5 different clocks at the same time. And anything could happen. There's so many things that go sideways. But you guys are still out there. You're doing the job. And you're fantastic at it. I mean, clearly America still operates. You know, people do talk about a lot about how especially on this channel, you know, and other places, the industry's broken. We got to fix this. And yeah, there's a lot of problems, you know, because we've been running on band-aids, and we've been, you know, just kind of going until the wheels fall off. But at the same time, people are still getting their stuff. Things are still being built, and you guys make that happen. You are, a lot of people say it and it sounds cliche, but you guys actually are the backbone of America. You are more like, you are the lifeblood. There would be no America, you know, for our veterans to defend if you guys weren't doing what you're doing. You're the best. I am Paul Gibson, and this has been The Open Road. I'll be back tomorrow. And if you want to call in, it's 8888 Road Dog. That's 888-876-2336. And I'll catch you tomorrow.
All right, guys. I am going to end the stream, so that will be it for this episode. And yeah, I'm using Streamlabs for this episode because this is take 2. Okay, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I was using, in take 1, I was using OBS, but then when it's time for me to start playing, the game crashed, as well as OBS. OBS also crashed, so that ended the stream. So I switched to Streamlabs, and there were a few times the game crashed on this stream as well, so I don't know what it is. I guess it's the mods, but thankfully the game didn't crash over and over and over. So this stream went, I guess this stream went well after all, because this was over, what, 3 hours? Yeah, just about, almost 3.5. So yeah, I was playing Road Dog Trucking Radio. Very interesting. And yeah, let me show you all the deliveries I've done. I've done a lot more tonight. It was pretty much all Christmas related. Alright, so I started in part 1, I started in Monroe, Louisiana. Yep, all these deliveries were to or from the state of Louisiana. However, only one was over 100 miles, and that's how this one counted for the Cruising Louisiana event. All these other ones did not count because they were under 100 miles, but that's okay. I am more focused on the Winterland event anyways. So I've done a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A total of 9 deliveries. And I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I did about 7 tonight, so that's good. Yep. And look, all of these 9 deliveries are different cargoes. Yeah, I did that on purpose. And I got all excellent ratings. I didn't really damage my truck, so that's good. And yeah, I am really tired. Thankfully, I didn't doze off. There were a few times where I almost dozed off, so I somehow managed to keep myself awake. So yeah, 9 out of 15. 6 more to go, and then I have to do one. One of them has to be from or to Snowy Peaks, the last depot. And then I got 7 more Cruising Louisiana. Yeah. Let's check our managers before I sign off here. Kenworth W900, that is the truck that I'm using. And I leveled up to level 55, so that's good. Alright. My truck, the current truck that I'm using, has almost 19,000 miles. 5-star condition, so that's good. Headquarters are still in Houston. Eventually I will move it to the capital city of Louisiana, which is Baton Rouge. They do have a garage there that I can buy. Wow, current productivity, 95%. That's really good. Economy summary, not bad. And how about my trailer? I know I don't have my trailer with me at the moment. It's a 4-star condition. All right. Hey, T-Bone. That's good that you were able to stay awake for the stream, yeah. And I'm sure you're glad that you stayed awake as well. Do I want to unpin the message? Oh, yeah, I might as well. I usually forget. There we go. Okay, so... it's Wednesday morning, which is... in real life this year, it'll be Christmas Eve tomorrow. Yeah, so that's kind of funny. All right, I think I would like to come back on Christmas Day evening to at least finish the Winterland event. And then the stream after that, I'll try to finish the cruising Louisiana event. So yeah, 2 more streams of Truck Simulator. Yeah, I'll do one on the 27th. I did mention, if you forgot, I am gonna do one on the 27th, which is a Saturday, because I'm going to listen to the LSU football game, their bowl game against Houston, which is the Texas Bowl. I never got to play a LSU football broadcast while playing and live streaming American Truck Simulator, so that will be, that is the plan, all right? Also, remember that Louisiana podcast that I played? There's another episode I would like to play as well, or actually, I think 1 or 2 more before the LSU game, all right? So anyways, the next stream of this game, I will play NORAD Track Santa music because it's the 70th anniversary. Yeah. And I would like to come back on Christmas Day evening to finish the Woven Wonders of Winterland event. I don't know why they changed the name. Last year it was just called the either Christmas Winterland event or just the Winterland event, but it's basically the same thing, so yeah. All right. T-Bone says, I did fall asleep during the radio, but then you did wake up. Oh, okay. Well, I guess the radio must have helped you fall asleep. So that's, all right. Cool. Yeah, I changed my paint job. I put the X for Xmas, and I'll change my paint job one more time. I might as well keep using this truck. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Speaking of NORAD Track Santa, I will live stream the website. All right, so that'll be me playing more of their games and stuff like that, because the day after that will be Christmas Eve, and you know what that means for this channel. All right. So until then, folks, happy holidays, and I'll see you guys very soon. Can't believe it, it's Christmas week. It's already here. So yeah, I'm gonna quit the game, and I'm gonna see if it's gonna like have trouble, because sometimes it'll say not responding. Because when I click on quit, it doesn't quit the game right away. It takes a couple of seconds, but now it's officially gone.